When last we left off, Tempus and K'Tierra had run to a druid's grove where they were staying until K'Tierra was healed. In the meantime, the characters have had 10 days of downtime to practice new skills and experience unique situations that not everyone in the party is familiar with. So we're going to be starting right on day 10 in the morning when Ysmyr and Rhodes wake up.
Perfect. So Rhodes is going to walk down into the kitchen looking a little shell-shocked, and he will be holding a bloody lute in his hands. He looks like he wants to say something, but he's not sure how to begin.
Great. Okay. What happened?
I'm sorry about your window.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I take it that was your bard's.
This was Nalenwi's. I'm not sure. I have to find out what happened to her before I go anywhere.
And Ysmyr is gonna kind of consider him for a minute before nodding. All right. How can I help you do that?
Well, you know this city better than me. Name me one good reason why I shouldn't go and have Gorald meet my goddamn fist right now.
Because you have no reason to believe it's him at the moment, right?
No reason? She was investigating him. Why else would she be gone? Why else would we have this?
Do you have proof that it was him?
I have a bloody lute. That was hers.
And who threw it?
I don't know.
Then you can't just go to... I hate saying it. I absolutely do. But you just charging forward and going to Gorald with accusations is not going to get you anywhere. Short of a jail cell, probably.
Then I won't accuse him. I will ask him.
And what's he going to do? Say he did it?
All right. What would you recommend?
Normally, I would say report it to the guards. But
not quite an option now.
Just to get something started, but you're right, that's not an option. So, we can see if we have any friends who could look into it for us that hopefully have enough pull that we won't, that we won't have their belongings thrown through my windows.
All right. Who do you know in this city that you trust that has the most power?
Right now, Tamarian and Yaereene. Tamarian might have reason to care that an elf was probably killed. Yaerene's being friendly, and he's been helpful, and I trust him. And both of them seem to be willing to work with us lately.
And if I remember correctly, Yaereene has other talents.
Correct. Yes.
Then I suppose, if I am assuming correctly about this unpleasant gift, then Yaereene would be the person to ask, correct?
It's definitely a start. Would you like to go before we meet up with Yaereene?
That is my intention. I won't leave the city until I know what happened to her.
And if it's going to take time?
Then you can go on ahead without me and I will catch up.
All right. Well, you know what? We're not leaving for a bit. Let's go see if the counselor will talk to us and plan from there.
Then let's go speak with Counselor Yaereene.
All right. But
Okay. So you guys heading out straight away?
That's the plan.
Probably, especially if there's hope to get other stuff done.
Yaereene, you get to Ysmyr's place and find it empty.
I was going to say probably left a note.
Okay. You find a note.
What does the note say?
It would let you know that there was an incident with the bard. We're just looking into it and we'll be back.
Okay, Yaereene will make herself as comfortable as she can be in Ysmyr's house while Ysmyr is not there, which is to say not very comfortable at all. She will sit very carefully and stilly in the sitting room or whatever public room is there, trying not to touch much.
All right. Ysmyr and Rhodes, you get to Yuri's tower.
So bloody loot still in hand, Rhodes will probably go straight up to knock on the entryway. He definitely is on a mission.
Okay. A few moments later, Yaereene comes out of his tower and trundling towards the gate He looks at you curiously. Says, "Yes, I was just about to head to the council. What can I do for you?"
Maybe you
Well,
could help.
for starters, I'd ask that you delay. How good are you at finding people?
I'm afraid that's not typically in my skill set. Not much in the way of investigating the city, looking for individuals. I leave that up to the town guard.
I was thinking with some more immediate help. Could you find someone if you had a personal item or blood that is suspect to be theirs?
Well, if you have blood, I might be able to do something. But I'm afraid the personal effects will not be terrifically helpful.
So I'm going to hold the loot out to Yuri and just ask, will this be enough?
Ah, yes, very well then. So, you're looking for the person whose blood this is?
I would hope so, yes. If nothing else, could you at least tell me if they're dead or alive?
Very well. And he goes about casting a series of spells on the lute, and chuckles a bit as he hands it back and says, "Well, you'll be rather relieved. I should hope to know that this is pig's blood, not human or gnome or otherwise. As for the state of whether the pig is alive or not, I really can't say."
Well, to say no, it's pig's blood is just as big as a relief. Now we just have to find the flute's owner.
I don't suppose you'd know anybody who can locate based on of personal effects.
Well, no, I don't. The city is rather lacking in wizards, and well, the clerics, I doubt, are preparing those sorts of spells soon after the undead assault. I imagine they'll be out in the streets healing people as best they can. So, if you wanted to wait a while, perhaps someone could help you.
Do you mind waiting a moment while Ysmyr and I have a word?
I really do. I really should be getting on my way. Well, let me see to my horse and carriage, and if you're prepared to speak by the time I'm ready to go, you can ride along with me.
Many thanks, Counselor.
Thank you. Thank you, counselor. And Ysmyr will step back and wait for Rhodes.
So Rhodes will join, looking very conflicted. It's gonna be either one of two things. Either we've been had for a good portion of our money, or they haven't hurt her yet.
Mm-hmm. So, here's one thought. How about, did you happen to find out where she lived?
Ryan, is that information that I have?
Absolutely not.
I figured as much.
Okay.
No, I didn't. We always had a meeting place.
Okay. And where was that meeting place?
Where was that meeting place?
Ysmyr's house, because you couldn't really move much as you were in the process of healing from your grievous wounds.
Right, so that's probably something Ysmyr would know too. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, Ysmyr's been spending a lot of time out of the house lately, so she might not have been there when the meetings were happening.
Fair. Then yeah, he would tell her that they met at Ysmyr's.
Huh. Okay. Where did you meet her the first time?
Same thing. Would that be at the inn, or would that still have been at Ysmyr's? How would I have found her? We never did go over that.
Well, Ysmyr had said that she was also helping to find a bard to help spread the good word about your party. So I imagine Ysmyr would have sent Melanie to you.
Okay. So, okay, this is where Romy can't remember the inns.
You guys are at the Lock and Key, which is on the west side of town. There's the Blue Lock, kind of near the central part, and those are the two that you've frequented. There's also the Gilded Snowflake, which is more towards the north end, the nicer end of town.
Okay, and I think we got her from the Gilded Snowflake.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, how about this? I found her at the Gilded Snowflake, so let's go there and see. Maybe she's around, or see if anyone's seen her, and can start from there. It gets us started towards the north end anyway, and then from there we can kind of decide what to do.
What time are we supposed to be meeting Yaereene?
Now,
Perhaps we should swing through and make sure that we won't miss her.
that's a good idea. And like I said, we can get our stuff.
Why don't we head that route so we don't keep Council Yaereene any longer than we already have?
Perfect. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, probably go to let the counselor know we're figuring it out.
All right. He goes on his way to the city hall then, and you guys make your way back to Ysmyr's house, where you find Yaereene sitting patiently and quietly in your sitting room.
Hey, you
Hello.
made yourself comfortable. That's good.
Hi. So are you guys ready to go?
We need to make a couple stops first, if that's all right with you and the other two.
Well, they're just waiting in the grove for us to get back.
Was Yaereene with us in the morning, or was she out with the boys in the grove?
And she was out with the boys in the grove. While you guys headed to Yuri's, she headed to Ysmyr's place.
Okay, so still in a bit of conflict. I'm gonna stash away this loot covered in pig's blood on my person, and just be like, it is my fault. I am sorry about Ysmyr's window, but I would like to get tabs on our little friend Bard before we leave the city, if that's all right with you, Yaereene.
Yeah, has something happened?
And there I would show her the loot, but I'd be like, it's possibly okay. This is pig's blood. So either she is detained or threatened and fine, or we've been had. And I don't know which one I feel worse about.
Well, I hope everything's okay.
We're just going to stop at some of the inns on our way out to make sure, well, to see if we can find any trace of her.
That seems like a smart plan.
Yeah. So at least right now, we know there's a good chance she's not dead. This is just to settle our minds, if you will. So if you two are ready, everything's packed up, we can just start making our way. And
I'm
hopefully get an answer for Rhodes fast.
Okay. So you guys have a wagon provided by Lord Valwraith, along with horses to pull it, and all of the supplies that you could ever hope to need, as well as a couple of pack horses to carry food stuff and feed for the horses. And so, which inn are you heading to next?
I think it was the Gilded Snowflake.
Where we first met her.
Yep, that would have been the Gilded Snowflake. So you guys arrive, and as you arrive with your rather nice wagon, a valet comes out to greet you, and the staff here are now quite familiar with all of you, as you've been there a couple of times now. So he offers to drive your wagon and horse team to the stables, and that way you guys don't have to worry about it as you go into the inn.
Ysmyr would hand it off with a nod and just a mention that we hopefully won't be there long, but thank you.
He takes that under advisement and says he'll keep the team prepared, but they will brush down the horses, give them a bit to eat just in case. And he takes the wagon off. So you guys are free to go inside. It is early in the morning, so it's pretty quiet. There are people who are leaving their rooms or enjoying breakfast, and you see Yaereene's father there at a table, and he notices you, Ysmyr, and perks up and waves you over to his table.
Okay. I guess if you two want to ask around, I'll be right back. Unless Yaereene, do you want to come?
Do you want me to?
This one's up to you. I'll wave you over if it's okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Then she's going to leave the two to ask around, and she'll go meet with Demarian.
So, Ysmyr, you didn't give Yaereene that letter yet, eh?
Unless she wanted it on the walk over, no. Haven't had a chance yet.
Okay. So you go over to the table, And he stands and bows before you, big smile, and says, "Ah, Queen Ysmyr, pleasure to see you. How are you this morning?"
Ah, all right, all things considered, we have a bit of a problem we're dealing with, but well, maybe you'll help. Maybe you can
Would,
help.
would that problem happen to be my daughter over there? I'm surprised she didn't want to come speak with me after the letter that I wrote her.
Ah, I haven't had a chance to give it to her. This is the first time I've seen her since you gave it to me, actually.
Ah,
Do you want me to wave her over?
if you don't mind, you can at least give her the letter while we discuss matters of state.
Well, I don't have a lot of time for that. Today was the day we planned to leave, but I can definitely give her the letter, or have her come over and give her the letter, if that's what you'd like.
Very good. Well, we can. She can read as we discuss the issues that you wish to discuss. Then.
Perfect. And Ysmyr will turn and wave Yaereene over.
She'll come over.
And while she does, she'll just check on Rhodes, see what he's up to, and until Yaereene joins them.
Rhodes probably would have looked for like an innkeeper of sorts or whoever books the entertainment to ask if they had seen our friend Bard recently.
Okay. And what name are you asking for?
The given name, Nalenwi.
The person shakes his head. Last name?
Oh, give me a second to look that up.
Okay. In the meantime, Yaereene, are you going over to the table with Ysmyr?
Yep. And she's got all sorts of expressions flashing over her face: hope, fear, shame, just everything. All silent though. She's not good. She's just going to come. She's not sure why she's there yet.
Okay. So Ysmyr, she approaches the table.
Ysmyr will kind of meet her and just quietly say, so she can hear, "Take a breath." And then a little loud order, she'll be like, Yaereene, I had a letter I was supposed to give to you. Well, when I saw you next and we got kind of distracted. So here you go. It's from your father here.
And Yaereene, you find a rather nice envelope with the family crest sealed in wax on the back of the envelope.
She'll look up and hope at her father. Should I read it now?
Yes, if you'd like to read that while I talk to Marion, that would be great.
So Yaereene will take a step slightly backwards to be sort of out of the immediate vicinity of the conversation. She'll still be close enough to be there, but basically trying to be unobtrusive. And then she'll read.
Okay. There is a message coming to your private messages. Ysmyr, what would you like to speak to Tamarian about?
So she'll take a seat with him and lean on the table. So the issue we're having is our friend Rhodes there had a bard looking into some people for him, and we were paying her to do the work, and we're trying to find her now because this morning someone threw her flute through my window and set it up so it looked like some sort of hit had occurred. But we spoke with Councillor Uri earlier, and we were able to determine it was pig's blood. So we're trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm concerned because she used to be a bard here, and I would just like to know what happened. Her name was Nalenwi Heartbane.
As soon as you say the name, his face darkens and he shushes you and says, "Are you a fool? Don't speak that name aloud."
Not a fool, but clearly not informed.
Come with me. And he stands up and immediately heads for the exit of the inn.
Yaereene looks not sure if she's supposed to follow.
Ysmyr will gesture to you two.
Okay, welcome.
I'm getting Yaereene and Rhodes to follow, so she'll wave them over.
Rhodes, you had a chance to tell the elf you were speaking to the last name, and immediate same reaction as Lord Valwraith is having. He basically just goes pale and says, I think you need to go, and closes up the books that they're working with and leaves the room.
At seeing that, he's probably going to glance to try and keep tabs on Ysmyr and Yaereene as he tries to process that reaction.
And that's when Ysmyr will give like a head jerk and a get over here.
And like the good little boy that Rhodes is, he goes over to follow the ladies.
Okay. Lord Valwraith leaves the inn and finds a secluded spot nearby where there's a park bench in a treed park. And he takes a seat and says, that name is not one to be uttered idly in public. Speak it not.
Can you enlighten us as to why?
Well, I don't know this Nellenwee you speak of. The last name is the key. There is a powerful family that remains completely unknown in this city. They're built to be masters of disguise and skullduggery. Heartbane is, well, we don't know. There are a great many things tied to the name, spoken in shadow. How much of it is true and how much of it is hearsay, conjecture, I simply don't know. But no one in their right mind speaks about it openly in front of others because they have a habit of disappearing.
Well, good thing we're leaving for a little while. I, for one, was not aware of this problem.
Few of your rank in the city would be. It's more of, nobles are more aware of it, although I sheltered my dear Yaereene from such stories, being an impressionable youth as she was. But just know that if that family is crossing paths with you, to be careful.
Well noted. And she'll glance to Rhodes. So how do you want to handle that?
All right, your honest opinion. And Rhodes is addressing Yareene's father for this. Your honest opinion. If I was concerned that someone bearing that name went missing, should I not be concerned?
If someone bearing that name went missing, the city has larger concerns. It is likely that they have simply put on a new face and will conduct their business elsewhere. They may have been intentionally or otherwise trying to stir the pot. Many of the stories that I've heard regarding the family involve mischief and trouble for the nobles, pitting people against each other in ways that even they are unaware of. There have been fierce diplomatic battles between families that have led to bloodshed, and it was only discovered afterwards that the initial slight or insult was completely fabricated.
Can I give you some information for you to do with what you will, knowing that it came from someone who bore that name?
Certainly.
So Rhodes will probably tell him everything we had discussed that we had paid for in information then.
Okay. He listens attentively, and when you're done, he shakes his head and says, this is exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. Your Nellenwee was painting you a pretty picture of Gorold being tied to some mysterious noble family through the money years, and I would say that every word that you heard is suspect, and there may be nothing there. However, the story you tell is an interesting one about his rise from nothing to prominence in a very short span of time. I normally might help you with this sort of thing, but if Heartsbane is involved, I dare not. Because if they find out that I am also investigating this, it could mean trouble for my own family.
I understand. I suppose this will have to be tabled for when we return.
That is probably wise. Let the trail cool and come back to it another time.
My thanks for your honesty.
Yes, thank you for the education. That's something I had no idea of, and that's concerning.
Well, good luck on your journey, my queen, and hopefully I will see you again soon.
And hopefully with good news as well. Ysmyr will glance to Yaereene just to see how she's feeling.
She looks shell-shocked just a wee bit, and she will curtsy very low to her father, despite being wearing adventuring clothes, and just say, "Father."
Yaereene, I do hope you find happiness and will consider my words carefully.
I will, Father.
Good day to you all. And he heads back into the Gilded Snowflake.
And so the three of us are alone now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Did you know what was in the note?
I feel like also at the same time she says that, Rhodes also looks at Ysmyr and just goes, "Queen, huh?"
What, Yaereene? What?
Had you read the letter before? Did you know what was in it?
No, he sealed it, and I assumed it was just for you.
Okay. I need help.
Help with what?
Can we get on the road while we're talking? Are we leaving now? Or are we staying and doing more?
We can leave now. I think I found all the information I need.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. And as she starts walking, she points at Rhodes and is like, "Shush you."
Of course, Your Highness.
I said, "Don't do that."
So, assuming we get our cart and get on the road, I will read the letter to them when we're on the road.
Okay.
So, Ysmyr, I'm not sure exactly what you and my father have been talking about, but here's what he said. Dearest daughter, it is with glad heart that I hear of your betrothal. I am sorry that none of our choices suited you over the years, but Queen Ysmyr, I can't pronounce it, has informed me that Tempus is a good sort of fellow, despite the news to the contrary flooding through Nordgard. Your mother burst into happy tears at the news, and I assume she is as glad as I am to hear that this war between our houses is at an end, if it ever began. I look forward to the wedding ceremony and request that you consider holding it on our estate grounds. I do hope that you are not too broken up about the inability of orcs and elves to conceive children together. While we had always hoped for an heir, I understand that in youth, the desires of the heart outweigh the desires of one's parents. Perhaps in another 100 years you will find another mate who will provide for you in all ways suited to a noblewoman. Best wishes on your travels. We are so proud that you guard the Queen of the North. Regards, Temerian Valraith. So, what?
Wow.
Congratulations.
So, about that, he got a letter from Tempest while I was visiting at one point, and I just told him my honest opinion that he shouldn't have to worry on whatever you were doing, basically.
Did I get betrothed? And why don't I know about it?
I dare say it was supposed to be a surprise.
You did not get betrothed yet.
I am surprised. Yes?
Think of it less as a now thing and more of a he's letting you know that in the future it's fine.
Wants our wedding at his house.
Oh, that's sweet. But
What do I do? What do I say to Tempest?
honestly, I wouldn't even worry about it. I mean, Tempest is just.
Does he know?
I think Tempest was asking permission to continue to court you, and your father's taking it 10 times too far.
But now I have to because I don't want to disappoint my father. He's finally calling me daughter again.
You don't have to do anything, Yaereene. In the end, it's all up to you.
Oh, by the way, have you guys, Ryan, would they have noticed anything physically different about Yaereene?
No.
Okay. Let's get out of the city. The city is very complicated.
It really is. It really, really is. And as we go, Ysmyr will kind of take a pace beside Rhodes and just be like, "And how are you feeling with what we learned?" And I'm not talking about Yaereene.
Oh, well, first of all, Yareen's news is positively glorious. In other words, as far as Lord Valerius' information goes, if what he said is true, then we have nothing to worry about. And if what he said is really true, then we'll have to worry when we get back.
I agree with that. Just want to make sure you're feeling better's the wrong word, but I want to make sure you're more settled in, I guess, our decision to continue leaving than you were before, considering everything.
Just know that I wouldn't leave someone behind to die. But if that's not the case, then we are free to proceed.
All right. That's a admirable way to be. So, and I would have helped you if that was the clear case that we had to take care of. So, good. Anyway, I guess let's keep going.
Okay, so you guys head back through town, through the gate, and head up onto the grove. Tempus and K'Tierra, it's getting around noontime, and there's been no sign of any of them returning.
But, we were told that they were going to the city and that they would be back, right?
Yes, Yaereene said that she would bring them back.
Well, then, of course, I believe her, so I think that for the last while we've been sitting in the grove while Tempest tells K'Tierra things like, and the best part about Yaereene is she's just so sort of hot and so cute, which is dwarfed only by the best thing about Yaereene, which is how easily she kills things with her bow. Seriously. But even that pales in comparison to the best thing about Yaereene, and so on and so forth.
Okay. K'Tierra, you are feeling completely recovered now. There's no signs of the neuralgia or groin wound or anything else. So you are feeling good.
Actually, what I'm doing is I'm playing around with my cantrips, and I'm just like giggling every time that I can like cast light over there, right? Or like I turn and I message Tempest directly saying, I see you, and just being silly and I'm just it's such a weight off.
Yeah, like I think Grizz had left us in the glade by ourselves, so I think we've just sort of been at our own devices, having fun, hanging out, waiting patiently.
Yeah. By this point, others have returned to the grove, and animals are back in the area and stuff. It's as if the undead had never been there.
Oh, well then in that case, can I cast Speak with Animals and try to grab myself like, something reasonably intelligent? Big songbird, maybe like a deer or something, like something reasonably sturdy and trustworthy.
Sure.
And I'm gonna give them a note and ask them to deliver it to the Valwraith's mansion, and I'm gonna sort of describe where it is using landmarks that an animal might follow, and offer them food or something as an incentive. But yeah, I'm giving them that note that Tempest had written to Yaereene's parents.
Yeah, you would have already have done that because he's already read it at this point.
Oh, good. Never mind then. All is well.
Okay. So yeah, eventually you guys are all together at the grove.
Tempest will immediately sweep up Yaereene and swing her around and just great big hug.
She'll laugh and hug him back, even though she's still a little shell shocked.
I immediately cast message at Ysmyr and say, you have every right to be mad at me, but I'm well. I'm well. I'm not passing out anymore. I'm well.
Well, that's good to see. I was getting worried about you for that.
And then I just get into a great big goofy smile, and then I start doing a little background tune while everybody else is talking. I'm just giddy, and it's basically a nature tune, kind of suggesting wind and going over a stream, running water, that sort of stuff.
Can you give me a performance check?
Ah,
Yes, you can. Okay, so this is like up there is one of the best performances that KTR has ever given, and the themes that he's going for come through crystal clear and leave you emotionally moved by the song.
Yaereene will just beam at K'Tierra.
While everyone's giving their greetings and stuff, Ysmyr will have a small smile, but she'll also make sure the horses and the new cart and stuff are all nicely settled.
Rhodes will also have that little distant smile on and will likely help Ysmyr because there is maybe a little part of him excited to travel north.
And I'm assuming once we're done, we can all gather. So, K'Tierra's healed up, and Tempest, you look all right. So, what have you two been up to?
I'm sorry that we left prison without permission, but we felt it was too important to sit in prison and leave the fate of the world at rest. So K'Tierra and I went on a spiritual journey. K'Tierra told me that you wouldn't want us to stay in the prison and face trials, so off we went, and we found Grisferg, and Yaereene has told us a little bit about what's been going on in the city, but for our sake, we have completely straightened out our spiritual health. We have brought ourselves back in line with the world. K'Tierra is healed, and Yaereene and I had a second date.
Oh, and we've had a bit of a kind of contact with the Storm Lord. The rock that I lay on, his power manifested through it and is what healed me. I had some distant visions of him, but he never spoke. He just smiled and looked happy to help, you know?
I am talked to the stone a lot. It's a nice stone.
And when Yaereene speaks, Ysmyr and Rhodes, for the first time you notice that she has what appears to be a diamond-shaped gray stone embedded in her forehead.
So the stone was really nice, and it gave me dreams. And it's the Stormlord that K'Tierra was talking about. And you know, the Stormlord's gone through a lot. So the stone made me tingle, and then I saw the Stormlord creating life. The Stormlord loves life and has created it all over the place, here on this world and other worlds, all over the place. But then I saw Shiro and Dowreth fighting. At least I'm assuming it's them. And the one, they started killing the worlds. And the Stormlord was so sad. Dowreth kept corrupting them and turning them to undead. And the Stormlord was really angry about it. And then another smaller god, a smaller god came to him, and they found a way to trap Shiro and Dowreth with a special metal. So I'm kind of hopeful that maybe that's real, and we could trap them somehow or find the metal. Because yeah, it seems like it's either happened before or can happen, and yeah, the Stormlord summoned them there for a conference, and they fought, and a great red dragon swooped down and brushes off the might of Shiro and just essentially sat on him. And then Dowreth spun to attack the dragon, and the Stormlord appeared and shackled him in this gleaming white metal. And then there was a chain that ran to Shiro, trapping him in Darrowite. And so they were trapped and powerless, and there was no more war, and the Stormlord's life that he'd created could live. And while I was talking to the stone a whole bunch, because as I mentioned, it's a really nice stone, it did this. Because I was worried that I wouldn't be able to talk to it anymore once I left, and then it just did this, and I'll point to my forehead. So now I can keep talking to it.
Ysmyr is just kind of sitting there, staring at her, listening, her face torn between concern and like, this sounds too familiar. Oh, that's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
That rock's stuck on there pretty good then, I bet.
Well, I haven't tried to take it off. I want to talk to the stone. I want to be able to keep talking to the stone or the Stormlord or whoever it is that I've been talking to. They're a very good listener.
Rhodes is gonna look to Ysmyr and just be like, well, shall we? get going, that is. Shall we get
You
going?
want to fill us in on the rest of what you guys were up to? I was only there for a couple of days, so like, what all happened?
Yeah, and where are we meant to go to? I see you have a cart and a wagon, and I don't know. What's happened since we left the city?
Ysmyr will glance at Rhodes and hold out her hand like, go ahead.
Oh, just lying low, healing, talking to counselors, talking to other people. I believe we've all decided we're heading north.
We need to head north, or at least I do. You are all welcome to come with.
I told you I have my reasons to go north. North is where family is. And he kind of glances to Ysmyr and he goes, what perpetrates your need to go north?
All right. Well, after you two, and she glances at K'Tierra and Tempus, made your jailbreak. We heard about it through the bards spreading the news, and at the time, we decided, all right, well, time to leave the city and head north, maybe find out where the undead went, maybe more than that. As Rhodes said, he has family up north. But and I decided to tell the council that we were leaving so they wouldn't have to worry about us. Because your Tempest, your rumors about me being queen were making them very worried.
Yes, Grisberg told me a little bit about that, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for disobeying you. I thought that everyone would agree that the city would need to evacuate, and I figured you were the only one to make it happen, and I'm sorry.
Well, cat's out of the bag now anyway. Yaerene's father was temporarily on the council at the time when I went to speak, and he saw my sword and he wanted it back. I'm assuming at least some of you know what happened when I handed it over.
No.
What happened when I tried to give it to you, K'Tierra?
Did it come back to you because you're the queen of the elves and the sword knows it?
Pretty much. And so, right in the middle of the meeting, he decided to bow to me and essentially send the council into an uproar. So that was fantastic.
Oh,
So
I'm,
they all know what's up.
I'm sorry, but I would have loved to been there.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, following that, Councilor Yuri was kind enough to let me use his library so I could start learning a bit more about my heritage, and I found a book. Well, my and it spoke of a place called Kalailin, which was basically the official seat of power for the elves. And it's further said that should the forces of darkness conspire to keep the royal line from returning to power, a never-ending age of darkness could fall over the entire world, or would fall over the entire world. So, I have to go find an old fortress in the middle of nowhere up north.
Tempest is going to tap the side of his nose and sort of like stage whisper to K'Tierra, "Spiritual journey in the wilderness."
I still would have loved to have seen what was going on in the council and everybody's reactions, especially that one jackass.
He wasn't happy. That's all you have to know.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, my intentions are to go to the north. Lord Dowreth has been kind enough to outfit us with what we need to at least get started. And yeah,
No.
that was my time.
Now, Rhodes, I'm sure I'd want to hear about. What are we going to do about the Daystar? Are we not going to deal with that on the way?
We can. It's on the way.
I just kind of look over at Tempest.
I mean, yeah, sure. Whatever you want. Ysmyr, are you sure that I'm still welcome in the warband after I disobeyed you and told everybody you were queen and killed some clerics and stuff?
You'll throw a glance over at Ysmyr, fairly pleading.
Oh, well, Tempest, that reminds me. Lord Valerith had some words for you that I was supposed to relay that might tell you where we stand.
Oh?
He said that, well, he had a personal favor that he will call into effect in perpetuity. You are to follow the commands of the Queen of the Elves in the North without question and always do right by her. If you do not follow her commands, no amount of gold will protect you. And then she'll crook her finger and have him just come close for a second so she can murmur this so only he hears it.
He'll lean in to listen.
And if you are to wed his daughter, you have to learn some common decency and self-control.
My eyes will narrow and say, his words are yours.
His.
Ooh. Well, we'll see about that.
Well, that's where your place in the warband stands right now.
Ysmyr, Lord Valwraith notwithstanding, I wronged you, and I'm sorry. And I completely understand if you don't want me to come along to the north or if you don't trust me.
I want you to come along, Tempus. But we were already trying to fix the trust. Don't break it again.
Okay.
Can you all explain this stone thing again? So it healed K'Tierra. It embedded a piece of itself in Yaereene.
Aye.
And Tempest, did you talk to it?
Nope. I'm pretty sure that my previous contacts with Tempus and my, sort of embrace of the values of struggle and war and, honorable conflict, kind of makes the Stormlord not interested in me, and that's fine.
If anything, I think the Stormlord is somehow showing some favor to Yaereene. Grizz was really fascinated.
Are you guys still on the side, or is
This is to the group.
Yeah, Grizz Ferg was telling us that all of the awesome nature powers that Yaereene has shown, commanding trees and hiding thoughtlessly in the wilderness, are likely blessings of the Stormlord.
Thoughtlessly is not the way to put it. Effortlessly.
never commanded any tree?
Oh, excuse me then. You asked the trees nicely and they obeyed you.
Some really nice trees on our travels. That was great.
But I think it might be more than that. I think it's just that you're incredible.
She'll blush and look down.
Rhodes, have you ever heard of anything like this?
Question for the GM. I'm assuming no, or is this something I can roll for?
You can give me a religion check.
So does that work?
Big natural 20!
While you have not heard of this specific case, it does remind you of stories in religious texts that you've read about gods giving favors to their faithful. Sometimes it can be a boon such as you have recently experienced with accelerated healing and like what K'Tierra has experienced. But sometimes it can also take physical manifestations in the case of artifacts, such as the artifacts of Dowreth that you've come into conflict with a couple of times now. But a god actually fusing a part of one of its holy objects with a person you haven't heard of specifically. It kind of reminds you a little bit of Tempest taking Big Tempest into himself, but you're not sure if it's the same or not.
Okay, I'll probably relay that information honestly and openly to the party.
Does that mean Yaereene could break the Daystar and the Doomstar by headbutting them really hard?
I
I
don't
wouldn't
think
want to try that.
Likely not. I don't think that's how it works.
Ysmyr's just considering everything, gonna go over and touch the rock. Just see, considering she's been hoping to maybe track down the guy at some point anyway.
The big rock or the rock on her head?
The big rock.
I'll point out the inscriptions and say, I hadn't noticed that because I had me back on it so much, but Yaereene picked out that there's actually some writings there that give a little bit of the ken.
Ryan, would I recognize any of the inscriptions?
I doubt that you're familiar with ancient Elven script.
Can I translate them for her?
You can.
I will. Okay, so one says that this is a holy stone that fell from the sky, or this is you just telling us, that fell from the sky when the elves were young. It acts as a conduit to the Storm Lord, who gave birth to all life and will return life to its natural state of wholeness. Well, that was written there.
Yeah, that was written on the central stone. The other inscriptions are kind of a grove.
And Grizz points out other inscriptions he's found on other stones nearby, which are more a history of the grove itself than information about the Stormlord. This place was a prominent gathering place near the Brightwood River, where different tribes of elves would come together to meet and share stories. As time wore on and the elves became less nomadic, they founded Nordgard to be a walled city to gather travelers and keep them safe. Although it was primarily inhabited by elves, other races did join them in peace, including dwarves, goblins, and orcs. But over the generations, wars erupted and the city and grove changed. The elves became fewer and the dwarves stopped coming, and much of the stories and friendship disappeared. And that's what we have.
Well, hopefully there will be a point where we can fix that. With that in mind, she's just gonna reach out and touch the stone, just because now the others have her curious.
Before you touch it, you hear Garxel hiss and warn you against it.
Why?
I'm going to send you a message.
The rest of you will probably see her hesitate for a second. After she hesitates for a moment, she'll glance to Yaereene and just be like, Yaereene, in talking with the stone or the Stormlord, how much does it know about us?
Well, it knows, a lot. It knows how wonderful all of you are. I told the stone how much you guys were all amazing. Is there something in particular you're curious about? Because I could tell the stone about that too.
I don't know if that... Well, she'll step back a bit. Here's the problem. My patron's concerned about being found out by the Stormlord.
Why?
And I don't know how that would go for me.
Why?
A loss of control, I suppose.
You lose control because of...
I don't know what's better right now. I'd like to talk to the Stormlord, but Yaereene, if you're talking to him, I guess you can let me know if he has anything to say.
Okay, is there anything you want me to tell him on your behalf?
How do we find him?
I'll ask. I don't know if he'll be able to tell me or not.
It's a start.
Now, Ysmyr,
Yes?
I'm kind of curious. How badly, did Bran react or, like, give you grief for what Tempest and I did, breaking out and knocking him out?
That fully distracts Ysmyr from the rock, and she looks tense.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You what?
We knocked him out. When we were running away, he came down with another one of his flunkies, refused to let us go, trying to do his duty, and Tempest knocked him out so that we could get by him. That's when we got outside and Gorold and his flunkies attacked us.
Rhodes is gonna look at Ysmyr and just be like, do you want to tell them?
We've heard the songs. We know that he was unjustly and cowardly murdered, but wasn't by us.
I didn't even get to speak to him because he was murdered.
I suppose now's a good time to tell you he's also been replaced by a paladin that Gorold himself appointed.
Wasn't it from the Grove?
Probably a friend of Grizz Ferg's from the Grove.
Yeah, I thought you just were giving us that song and as a tease and left it in because I blew up.
Yaereene would have brought news of the song to you guys.
All right, in that case, I would have brought it up as basically saying, like, Ysmyr, just so you know, when we left the jail, Bran was still breathing.
Out of character, I'm just gonna say it's really hard for her not like smack the rock in frustration right now.
Why hold back?
Just touch the rock.
Honestly, I believe you two on that part. Bran didn't deserve that.
No?
Yaereene, Any luck on that question?
Oh, right now. Oh, sorry. And she'll wander off by herself. Or maybe you guys could leave the stone alone for a minute and I could talk here.
Sure. And Ysmyr will wander away.
And if everybody else follows, Yaereene will sit down by the stone and she'll start talking and ask the Stormlord if we're allowed to find the Stormlord and how would we do so and which direction would they like us to go?
As you speak to the stone, you feel warmth spread through your forehead and a slight vibration of the stone against your skull.
Does it change if I face different directions?
No.
But I feel heard, essentially, maybe?
Yeah.
That's how she may interpret it. But I'll tell you, I'll speak out loud and tell you, Ysmyr, I've only ever gotten dreams before. So we might have to wait till nightfall. And I might get nothing. This talking to a stone thing is new to me.
All right. And she still looks very undecided about what she wants to do in regards to the stone, but for now she'll step back. So, what do you all think about going north?
I think it's a great idea. It's completely in line with our spiritual quest. We will find the seat of your ancestors' power and restore you to the rulership of the North and smite the undead. It's great. I'm in.
Visit Rhodes' family.
And also, we'll hopefully put the Daystar back.
That's a pretty big list. We'd better get started.
And with that, I think that we will stand around in awkward silence for 5 minutes, but then start heading north.
Sorry, me as a player, I'm really torn on what my character would want to do right now. So
It's okay. You've got some time to think while I find the map that I'm looking for here.
Hey, Rhodes, if asked about your family, are you willing to tell us anything about it or not so much?
It probably depend on the question, but yeah, he'd probably share a bit more.
Hey, Rhodes, tell us about your family.
Because subtlety is Tempus's real strength.
Well, I actually grew up with just my mother and I in a place called Ellisdawn. I guess you could say I was her only child. I had no siblings, so I guess when I say family, I really just mean my mother.
And where is this Ellisdawn? I always thought that Nordgard was like the furthest bastion of the Empire of the Sun in the north.
No, Ellisdawn is a bit to the northwest. There's a few small communities out there, both human and elven and otherwise, to the best of my knowledge.
Oh, yeah. That must be where all the elves that like to hunt orcs in the wilderness hang out.
Well, I don't think that's been the case in my experience, but I can't answer for anyone else.
That the elves you know don't like hunting orcs, or that you don't?
I don't hunt orcs.
Oh, of course not. You're far too cool. So, why are we going to see your mother again?
Because it's been months since I've been home. Wouldn't you be in the same as me if you went months without seeing your mother?
Oh, heck no. I'd feel so safe and relaxed. It'd be great. Why did you come south in the first place then?
I was looking for someone.
Who?
A family friend of sorts, I guess you could say.
What's their name? Maybe one of us knows them.
His name is Orathan. I can only assume he went traveling, but he went missing, and I've been on the hunt to look for him, which is what drew me south to Nordgard.
I don't know anybody by that name. Unless Ryan do, and I don't know I do.
Nope.
That seems to be a common theme in my travels.
I'm sorry, I wish I did.
That's all right. I have enough faith that whatever trouble he's gotten into, he's more than capable of protecting himself.
But if you're so sure about that, then why did you come out looking for him?
Perhaps I miss him.
Do you?
I mean, he is a family friend. I did grow up with him always around. I guess you could say he's like an uncle to me.
Well, I think you've stymied my questions for now then.
He is a slippery one.
At one point, I think Tempest would also try to tug Yaereene off to one side and say, "Hey, Yaereene, I know we're in the wilderness and we're on a spiritual journey and stuff, but do you think you might want to try for a third date while we're on the road?"
Could you tell me what an orcish third date is?
Oh, it's very harrowing and very, very, challenging and exhausting on an emotional level. First off, we should do something fun. I mean, all we've been doing is having meals and hanging out in inns and stuff and having serious talks. So, is there any kind of fun activity that you would like to engage in before we do the serious stuff?
Play hide and seek in the woods.
That's good. We could also have a prank war on all of our companions.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, I think that's perfect. First we'll prank our companions, then we'll go hide in the woods, go seek, and then we have to do the serious part of the third date, which is talking about the future.
Oh, and she will think about that letter and gulp.
I know, it's very frightening and may spell the end of our relationship if we find out that our plans are incompatible. But it must be done. It is a third date and we cannot waste any time.
Okay.
Great. When do you want to start? Shall we start pranking our friends tomorrow?
Maybe we should wait a couple of days.
You're right. That would allow us to plan our pranks out even better.
Just nod weakly.
Who do you want to prank? I call dibs on K'Tierra.
Maybe. Could I prank you?
Ooh, trying to go hard mode on it. All right, I see how it is. Okay, for my second pick, I will prank.
Wait, multiple picks?
Yeah, everyone gets a prank. That's how it works.
Oh, I was trying so hard there.
For my second prank, I will also prank Rhodes. That leaves you with Ysmyr.
Okay, I'll prank you there.
Great. Looking forward to it. And we'll resume travel.
So as you start heading north, you note that the temperatures are starting to trend upward. It's not enough for the snow to be melting yet, but it's also not as cold. The wagon that you've been provided with by Lord Valwraith is far superior to the cart that was drawn by Chewie. Speaking of Chewie, have you brought Chewie along with you? You do have a full complement of horses now, so it's not necessary to bring Chewie. Just not sure what you were doing with him when you discovered that he was alive.
I feel like he deserves a really good treatment in some way. But I'm either he comes with us because he's been a really good war mule, or I don't know if the Valorys have a stable and are willing to watch basically our pet.
They would.
I think that's easier. Anyone disagree?
Hmm.
I think that makes sense. He's deserved a little bit of rest.
Well, I think he needs to be put out to stud. Oh, he's a mule. Forget it.
I was gonna say, I was like, mules are sterile, right?
Yeah.
There's a Playboy mule mansion somewhere, right?
Oh, God. Now I just see Chewie in a smoking jacket with a pipe.
We will now call him Mule Hefner.
Yes.
Damn it. Okay. Anyway, the trip north through the woods is much faster with the wagon. It's better suited to the climate and terrain, so it doesn't take you anywhere near as long to head north, and you actually reach Daystar Lake by the end of the day.
You check to see if there are any tracks? Have we reached near the area where the cave was, Ryan?
Yes, you're on the shore of the lake right now. You can see the island and the setting sun over the frozen lake. I'm not going to make you roll for it. Yeah, there's tracks. There are so many tracks. Hundreds and hundreds of tracks marching north.
Can I tell how long ago they were marching north?
It's been a while. There has been a skiff of snow since, but the ground is completely churned up, especially at the edge of the lake where it's gotten a bit of sun and it's mucky, and you can see lots and lots of footsteps have gone through the area and onto the ice.
Can I see if there's any recent ones that may have stayed?
You don't see anything more recent, no.
Were they all orcs and goblins?
What are your favorite enemies again?
Humanoids.
And
greater ones. Hold on a moment. Can't actually remember that. I had a big debate with myself about that. Oh, undead. Humanoid and undead.
You do see scrape marks that would indicate that there are undead in the mix. There are booted footprints, so it's impossible to tell if they would be undead as well. But there's certainly what you would think would be skeleton footprints.
I'll report back to them that there's significant quantities of each of those,
Well,
and that I didn't see anything more recent than that.
how old are they? Sorry.
They're actually fairly old. They're just well preserved. Nothing else has been coming through the area, and there hasn't been a lot of inclement weather. But they could be about a week and a half.
That time with when we heard the call to go north and resisted it.
Yeah, probably lines up with that.
All right. Well, if everyone's still okay with it, we can take our time, watch for company, and get to this cave.
Well, Yaereene, didn't you have that thing where you could sense living in the undead in a range around you?
I can actually. That's a good call. So Ryan, can I sit down? And I'll need to spend quite a bit of time because I'd like to check for both humanoids and undead.
Sure, that only takes a minute, right?
Yeah, for each.
Okay. And it's a 5-mile radius.
I'm just double checking it. 1 sec. Sorry, this is one of the ones that doesn't go into D&D correctly, so.
No worries.
5-mile radius. Yep. It reveals which of my favorite enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance in miles from me. If there are multiple groups, I learn this information for each group.
There are neither humanoids nor undead within a 5-mile radius of you.
I'll report back, which is kind of eerie, but good knowledge.
Oh, well, if some of the poor bastards died on the march, they wouldn't be showing up likely, because they were still human marching. They were just compelled. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to meet any goblins or orcs this time. Yeah, I still look sturdy enough for us to walk across.
You can give me a nature check.
Alrighty. Yeah.
I'll take that first roll of a 13. Yeah, the ice looks like it's still quite thick and heavy.
I still have the staff from when I was gimping about. Now I'm going to use it to tap the ice in front of me, trying to listen to the sound of it.
Yeah, you're fairly sure that it's sturdy enough to hold your weight.
Now, do we take the cart and the horses, or do we hide them somewhere? Also, with poor Miri gone, who can hold the Day Star? You can, can't you, Ysmyr? Or was it just Tempus?
Tempest can, and I can.
I know I'm not
And
touching it.
There's the Doomstar as well, which and I'm not sure how that would go for Tempest.
I can take it, but what is our goal here? What is it we're trying to do?
Put them back.
Well, the whole thing is that we took them out, and by doing so, we kind of picked the lock for anybody else going in to look for the big bad, or if you remember.
Yeah, but I mean, it's too late. Dowreth has already escaped and is now free on the plane.
What
Has
do you
he?
think it was holding back Dowreth?
Sorry, repeat that, Ysmyr?
What makes you think it was holding back Dowreth?
Well, because the 2 items were tools of the god. Big Tempest told me a little bit about them, and I'm not exactly clear on the metaphysics of it, but they are great receptacles for power of the deities. The Doomstar was the second one we removed. The Daystar was in there, keeping it sheltered, keeping it hidden from the orcs. I think it was the Daystar that was killing them before we took it out, and then the Doomstar's power was able to come forth. It was after we took the stars that we heard the great voice in our heads that pulled back all of the undead.
And the other thing that we've read in all the notebooks we found was that there was a lich hidden by the Canopy King up here.
Hi, those were the keys to the lock for the Lich Lord, not Dowreth.
What?
I've pasted the note back in the chat just to refresh people's memories about what Group 2 actually sent.
Yeah, I mean, out of game, guys, I know that it was totally not Dowreth that was hidden in there, but Tempus is an ignoramus, and as far as he's concerned, the only thing that could have spoken in our minds was a god. So I don't know if we've actually ever been told it was a lich, specifically.
I thought that we were getting that. We were getting that from the books from the assassin, because he was all about trying to make sure that the lich didn't come back.
But he said nothing about Daystar Lake or the Daystar or anything associating those things with the lich.
No, that is Ysmyr's assumption right now. Because with the books and with learning what she has about the Kenny King, that's what she thinks it was hiding. That's her opinion.
Are you taking the time to explain that to us?
She will. It's just we started.
I kind of had the same impression. I thought we had enough to piece it together. Without...
Maybe you guys did. I don't think that Tempest did. But fair, if you explain that to him, then he's going to retort with, but why bother? If this lich has already escaped, what is replacing the stars going to do?
I want to know if he escaped.
Because that's an assumption. The orcs may not have known.
And we could be completely wrong. He might not even be there. This could be something totally different. I have no idea what the ancient elves were doing.
Well,
But this is just the my line of thinking, essentially. But then you brought up the Dowreth stuff, and I don't like the idea of any of this, so I want to get a look.
Thank you for explaining. I will, of course, follow your lead.
I look a little surprised.
Let's just go take a look, and because we went in here half-cocked anyway.
All right.
And I would say let's just park the wagon and go over for now.
Oh, I'm sure we can take the time to secure it and hide it, yeah?
Mm. Well,
Yep. You can give me a nature roll or a stealth roll to hide the cart.
actually, I lean over to Yaereene and I'm like, do you think you might be able to talk to the trees?
I could talk to the trees.
And ask them to keep these poor beasties safe.
I'm pretty good at hiding things. I could just try that.
Okay.
Yeah, because you look at you guys are discussing this, and Tempest goes to work hiding the cart, and he claps his hands together and says, "Okay, all done." And you can still see the cart fairly easily. So Yaereene, with help, you do a better job of hiding the cart, and I think it's pretty well hidden.
And we don't sense any undead or humans around. So I'm feeling hopeful on that front.
Aye, but I don't want them falling to wolves either. And I just kind of start heading out, and I'm looking behind.
Okay. You guys head across the ice-covered lake, no problem, and arrive at the island. And here again, you see the footprints headed north. All of the footprints headed in a unified direction.
And none of them peel off and go into the cave or anything.
Yaereene, if you want to give me another survival check, you can look for tracks closer to the cave. Taking a look around here, there's no recent tracks.
Okay.
Well, do we have a plan for a line of march, or?
I think Rhodes should lead the way. Wouldn't you agree, Rhodes? And Tempest gives you a great big wink.
If there is a joke, Rhodes is probably missing it, but he happily steps forward to lead the way.
And once Rhodes takes the lead, Tempest turns and winks at Yaereene.
Oh boy.
Yep.
All right. I'd probably go in the middle.
I'll take up back if other people are leaving.
And I guess Ysmyr's behind K'Tierra.
Ryan, I'm going to be trying to see if I can pick up any secret doors or any secret passages this time that were a little bit more used to this space.
Okay. So in this entry hallway first?
Sure.
Give me an investigation.
Yep.
You don't see anything.
No, I don't.
Am I good to proceed?
Rhodes, as you start walking, Tempest is suddenly going to like hook a hand into like some of your clothing and be like, "Quick, Rhodes, you're gonna have to guide me with your superior perception skills. I will follow closely behind you." And he gives you another big wink.
So, Rhodes is gonna take a moment to like scan everyone else to see if they are acknowledging this unfamiliar behavior from Tempest.
I'm just looking puzzled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I will proceed. Should I be going 30 feet at a time?
That's up to you.
Then I will stick with 20.
He's keeping an eye out for anybody behind us as well.
As we continue into the cave, Tempest is like starting to run his hands up and down Rhodes's, back and legs and stuff, and being like, "Just adjusting my grip back here. Never mind me."
Tempest, what are you doing?
I'm keeping a
sorry.
firm hand on Rhodes, of course.
Rhodes will
Just-
like look over his shoulder at Tempest, but otherwise just like straight face it.
Okay, so Rhodes, as you get through the rough tunnel towards the chamber, it is completely dark in here, and I don't think you have dark vision, do you?
I don't believe so. Let me double check. No, I have nothing that would give me that.
Only human in the party.
So wait, it's dark, Rhodes can't see very well, and I'm totally like running my
I
hand up
would
and
totally cast light. I would
Uh-huh.
totally cast light.
before K'Tierra can do that, the time is nigh. I strike. Tempest is going to attempt to pick Rhodes's pocket and steal anything that he can off of Rhodes's person. I'm hoping that with him being distracted from like Tempest, like orc handling him a little bit, I can get away with it.
Oh, give me a sleight of hand.
Would I make a roll against this?
Yes. Give me a perception at disadvantage.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god!
Fantastic.
You gotta be kidding me! Of all the times to roll a 1.
Tempest,
my.
you managed to steal something from Rhodes.
What do you steal?
Actually, how likely is it that I noticed?
Everybody behind noticed because you all have a passive perception above 10, I think.
We're all a little
yeah.
baffled by this.
I'm
Tempest broke
16.
the road.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll 1d24, and whatever it comes up with, like there's 24 items in Rhodes's inventory. That's what I'm gonna try and lift off his person.
Oh, watch it try and be his armor.
I just don't notice. Where did my armor go, guys?
Ooh, I'm feeling brisk.
I have stolen your dagger, sir.
Dun, dun,
Handle
dun.
it well, friend.
Ugh.
Frank.
Keep a
if I
firm
notice-
hand on it.
If I notice, I lean in, I pinch his ear, and I'm like, "Don't be a git. Now's not a time to do that."
And I'll whisper back, "It's just a prank, bro."
We're just in a frickin' Tempest. Sometimes you need to take the audience and the setting into place.
I am. Third
Oh.
date. And pushing Rhodes into the cave, we continue.
I feel like at this point Rhodes has a vague idea that like maybe Tempest is A, bi, and B, poly.
Sorry, just 1 second here. K'Tierra, you said you cast a light spell?
Yep, and I was going to cast it on some part of Rhodes's armor.
Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to do that.
I guess you could say I'm so bright my mama calls me son.
Very nice.
Golf clap.
An appreciative groan.
What's the radius on the light spell? Is it 20 feet?
I believe so. Let me double check. Bright 20, dim 20.
Okay, Rhodes, you have a light source.
Perfect. I guess I also could have done that, but I'm just assuming I was too distracted by Tempest's hands.
Yeah.
So at this point, Rhodes is just going to kind of glance back at the rest of the party and be like, so to my understanding, you've all been here already?
Yes, not before.
Briefly, yes.
Then why am I in front again?
That's a very good question, honestly.
Well,
Because you volunteered, and Tempest gives you another big wink.
These are killing me.
All right, I will continue forward.
Tempest will begin muttering to you and say, like, and this is the stone altar from which we foolishly took the Daystar.
Well, I'm guessing that the chests are not still here.
Wasn't there only one chest and we took that with us?
Oh no, we left all the stuff in the chest.
Oh yeah, remember, back at the time, the stars were in the center and hurting people, or
Yep.
and we also had orcs coming to attack us, so we were acting in a hurry and didn't take a look around.
Orc baby.
Yeah.
And we never went through, or did we go through that passageway? I didn't think we did.
I didn't see it, and Miri didn't mention it, so nope.
all right. As I'm making my way to that passage, do I need to roll another investigation to see if I pick up on anything?
Well, the room itself, if you take a cursory look at it, has changed since the last time you were here. The dead bodies of the orcs and their gear are no longer there. The chests are gone. It looks like there was a hidden compartment in the southern wall that looks like it was long enough to hold a weapon in. And there's kind of holders in place there where you would rest the weapon in the wall. And as Yaereene mentioned, there is a door in the northeast part of the room that nobody noticed the first time you were in there.
Okay, so there's the south. And
Do we explore this before we put the stars back?
well, because everybody will have to be ready to scarp her off as soon as those stars come out, so that we don't get all banged up again. So yeah, I would say we wait on until the way out.
So should I go first?
Um,
You want to go first?
I've got it. I'll go first.
And if Shan, if Rhodes wants it, Ysmyr will give him a bit more context while we go, if that helps.
Sure, that sounds great. He's just walking around the room, and he'll probably go back to look at the altar again.
Yeah.
It's super narrow like this, Ryan?
It is extremely narrow.
All the others.
To the
Wow.
point that you guys need to really squeeze to get in there at all. And Tempest, as you make your way through, you find a small chamber with a staircase that goes down.
Oh, crap. Everyone, there's stairs.
Oh, good.
Any recent tracks here, Ryan?
Not recent, but there definitely is disturbances in the dust going through here.
Can I tell what was in here?
Booted feet.
Hmm. Well,
Check for
Okay,
traps
okay.
on the stairs?
we're standing just over the stairs. Like, how far down can we see?
It's not too far down. It's about 20 feet down to the next level.
Ooh. Well,
Sniffing the air, can I detect the scent of undead or get any inclination as to who might have been coming through here?
No.
Well, I can't smell anything hostile. Shall we go down?
in for a penny, in for a pound. Off we go.
And you guys make your way down to a somewhat larger chamber where you see 4 pedestals, one in each corner.
Is there any runes, script, pictographs?
Nothing, just black stone pedestals, and the walls appear to be made out of some kind of metal.
Is there dust that would indicate what might have been on the pedestals?
Yes.
We're dusting a lot.
On the northwest pedestal, it looks like there was a dagger removed from it. The northeast pedestal is hollowed out, and there's crystal clear water that fills the inside. On southwest, it looks like there was some sort of rectangular object that covered the majority of the top of the pedestal. And on the southeast, you can see that there was that there's a smashed glass that's kind of coated in a black ichor.
Ysmyr, may I taste some of this mystery goo I found?
No, I really don't think you should do that.
You don't think I should, but may I?
No.
Do fine.
Ryan, can I determine if that might be poison? Like, can I tell what it is, either through a nature check or a medicine check?
You can try that, sure.
Or preference, or may I pick?
You can pick.
Ooh.
You're fairly confident this isn't a natural poison of any kind.
Okay.
Ooh.
Do I think it is a poison, or do I still not know? It's just not natural.
It's not a natural poison or any kind of curative potion that you've experienced before. Nothing like that.
Okay, thank you.
Ryan, the staff
Yep.
that I've got, I want to dip it into the clear liquid to see if it all of a sudden is like an acid or.
Nope, it appears that the staff is unharmed.
And when I pull it out and I like draw it against the floor with that liquid, nothing happens again.
Yeah, there's nothing strange about it.
Okay. Well,
If you want, you can give me a religion check if you're going to study it further.
I will at that.
I don't suppose I could also join in on this, seeing as I'm standing right there.
Sure. You can give them advantage or do your own check.
Oh, I guess I should have declared what I was doing.
Okay.
I will do my own check.
You recognize this as holy water.
Don't suppose I'd recognize from which deity.
No.
Perfect. So I will share that information with K'Tierra.
And the rest of us, or no?
Sorry, it's just, was everybody listening to him trying to figure it out?
We're all in a room together.
Fair point. You have a point. Then yes, I share with everybody.
Well,
So which gods do we know that use a holy water and a dagger and black goo?
well, Ryan, am I metagaming, recognizing what all this was here for? Or did I pick up enough from the books?
That's a good question. I don't remember exactly the contents of the journal entries with regards to Glathor, but I think it would require. Well, give me an intelligence check, just a straight intelligence check.
And not much hope, but there's always a chance. Come on, roll. All right. There, that should have sent something. How many times have I rolled a 2? Today.
Yeah, K'Tierra, you're not piecing anything together.
Right.
I
I've got-
suppose, being a cleric, I don't suppose I would have a chance to look around at all the items and take a guess at what this room is.
You can give me an Arcana check. Anybody who's investigating the entire room.
I assume that I've blown my shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Tempest just isn't making a roll.
Hurdy-durdy, oh, that was almost a 19. Yeah.
Well,
Ysmyr, you've got a sinking feeling. Putting this together with what you read about them hunting for the remains of a lich lord, the way that everything is laid out, the way the chamber itself and the Daystar room are reinforced, something was meant to be housed here and protected here for all time. And given your understanding of the history, it is entirely possible and even likely that this was the not so final resting place of Glathor.
And that's when she willingly kicks one of these things, and it's just like, damn it!
what?
We made a really big mistake taking the stars.
What do you mean?
The journals, Hogarth was coming up here to keep the Lucius or whatever from finding a Glathor. The elves had defeated Glathor and taken him north.
Oh.
Rhodes, you said that was holy water?
That it is.
So
We
that's the worst news we could have found, but we know now?
Well, isn't
Yes.
that good though? I mean, we know it's what you said was before, a lich, instead of being a god himself. Isn't that good?
Well,
I wouldn't say good.
If the lesser of two evils could be a good thing.
We got a lich who wanted to be a god walking around. I
it's
think
pretty
that's
bad.
still on par. Pretty bad, yes.
But we know for sure now, at least.
So do you still think we should put the stars back, or maybe they could be of use in bringing him down or something?
Well, that's...
At this point, I don't see a point in putting them back, but
No, there's no sense locking the door after the horses
Damn it.
ran.
Well, even to put them back, it sounds like there's nothing here to
Alright.
stop anyone from going to get them, and there's nothing here to stop, which is what I believe was their original purpose.
Well, it'd stop anybody from coming in, the orcs and all that, because the day star would strike them dead. But it's hiding and securing nothing, whereas we might be able to find some use or some purpose for the stuff. Or at least that's the way I see it.
Yaereene, what's a lich?
Like one of the undead, but really scary and powerful.
Even more scary and powerful than the abomination?
Uh-huh.
Well, think of it this way. To become a lich, you have to be like one of the best, smartest magic users you could possibly be. And then you decide you want to live forever. And you purposely do things to yourself to take all your humanity away so that you can live forever. And don't you think that would kind of twist and make you mad?
I mean, I'm not particularly human. Are you saying that I'm twisted and mad?
Well, let me put it this way. Losing all touch and all empathy with anything else that's living.
So, I mean, I'm still not seeing it here. It's a scary undead, sure, but we can kill it, right?
Well, if they could have killed it, they would have killed it. Instead, they set a trap and a tomb and an eternal resting place for it, right?
Clearly not, since we were able to disturb it with relative ease. What do you mean we can't kill it, Ysmyr?
it's not like the other things. And this is this is not good, Tempus. This is like a step down from Dowreth being walking on the material plane. Or our plane, sorry. But barely.
Aye, not by much.
Okay, so what's the plan? Are we gonna go north and try to put it back in the box?
Well, I don't think it has to be this box. We just need to know that it has to hold holy water.
The box is gone, right?
There is no box per se. It's the pedestal. Was cut deep and filled with holy water.
So there was no lid or anything. They just rested his body in there, and being submerged in the holy water, he couldn't do anything.
Right.
Well, we've got Rhodes, who is a cleric of Tempus. All we have to do is just dump a bunch of holy water on him. Simple.
Oh.
Elven and dwarven armies and so many more were destroyed just trying to kill this guy. And they barely did that, according to the journals and the history books.
And it wasn't so much kill, it was just make him unconscious so
One
that
does
they could do this to him.
one does not simply subdue a lich.
Aye.
So what do we do?
Well, we still had our agenda for heading to the north and doing family stuff with Rhodes and also doing family stuff with Ysmyr, except Ysmyr's family stuff is setting about the royalty.
My family stuff was this.
Well, see, that's perfect, because Ysmyr, being the descendant of the person who killed him, and being the descent like twice as good as them, she'll know exactly what to do. She'll just use her fearsome elf magics and smite him.
Way too much faith in me, Tempus.
Yep.
Brian, I start going through all my memories and start looking for any epic tales about liches, explaining just exactly what's going on there, and I'm going to start feeding Tempest a steady diet of them as we travel.
Can you give me a history check, please? Yeah, you don't actually know all that much about liches beyond what you've all learned as a party.
So Tempest responds with, well, why didn't they just get a bunch of orcs and beat his ass? Or, like, are you sure they couldn't just hit him with a really big axe?
I'm sure.
Anyway, what's our next move, gang?
Well, Ysmyr, weren't we supposed to be finding your family holdings?
We're supposed to be going north, yes. So whatever we end up finding, we're going that way.
Now, are we at the point where we've got to make camp once we get back to the horses and the cart?
Yes, it's getting late in the day.
Make sure nothing's left and let's get out of here.
Aye.
Yeah, it looks like this place has been thoroughly picked through.
Then Ysmyr, for one, is ready to go.
Yep. All right. So, are we doing anything else, or are we just going back, making camp, doing a long rest, and then proceeding?
Hitting the wagon and maybe moving a bit, but otherwise,
Okay.
I'd say we're ready for a long rest. Depends on what everyone else wants to do.
Yeah, I'm willing to move just a little bit.
If there's still time in the day, Yaereene would love K'Tierra's guidance on acrobatics. But if it's essentially time to start setting up camp and making watch, then she'll do that.
Yeah, there's there's not a lot of extra time in the night. By the time you guys get back to where the wagon is, it's time to set up camp and get ready. But if you want to spend some time during the long rest, practicing stuff, and in the morning, that would be fine.
Okay.
In the morning, K'Tierra, when you wake up and are going about your business, Tempest is going to approach you, and in his hands, he has a little fur stole. Like, it's like he's taken a hide of some kind and made like a little miniature cape out of it. And he says, K'Tierra, from what you were telling me about fine clothing and everything, I'm trying to take it to heart, so I have made you this friendship cape, and I would like you to wear it.
I look at this little stole. I look at Tempest. I look at the stole, and I look at Tempest, and I say, "How can I wear it?"
Well, turn around and open up your arms.
You hear K'Tierra give a great big sigh. He knows something stupid's about to happen. Turn around, spread my arms.
Nothing stupid. I'm just gonna sort of like place it around your shoulders and like fasten it around your neck, and it's really roughly put together and maybe not the best tanned, but it just hangs about your shoulders. It looks like a coyote fur stole about your shoulders.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Now, did you manage to sneak the dagger back to Rhodes? And I lower my voice so only he can hear.
No, I have to wait for an appropriate moment to reveal the joke.
I'm not sure what the joke is, but if you know, you know.
In the morning, the other thing that will occur is Yaereene will bring Ysmyr a cup of tea.
Oh, and Tempest made a gift of a fur stole that he made and put it around my neck, and it looks like I've got this little cape.
Okay. Thank you, Yaereene, for the tea.
And you'll notice that it's not your general tea that you usually have in the mornings. It's a different flavor.
Ysmyr will do that little, like, you sniff your tea first.
Yeah, it smells like tea, just not your usual flavor.
And she has no reason not to trust Yaereene, so she'll, sip her tea.
Okay.
Shall we be about our travels then? Do we know where we're going in the north?
I imagine while Ysmyr was being presented her tea, Rhodes is going to take a chance to sit by Ysmyr, and he's going to have a conversation with her before we head out. So he'll just have a seat and kind of glance to her while she drinks her strangely tasting tea and just ask, so do you have any idea where you're going to the north, where you need to go?
Sorry, just answering something. So as far as I know, from what I was able to read in Yuri's library, Callahan is somewhere to the northwest. It's in the middle of territory that used to belong to the elves, but it was lost as far as I know, centuries ago, all the battles and stuff that have gone on. So I have no pinpointed area. I just have a general idea of where it is.
So I suppose it goes to stand that you would be interested in talking to elves who might be more familiar with the territory or what you're looking for.
Yes, that would probably be a big help.
Well, I may know a route. Might I suggest that we head to Zalora? It's a elven village out to the northwest.
Is this one of the places you traveled to or have been around?
I suppose you could say I've done quite a bit of traveling in that area.
Well, Rhodes, honestly, you know more about elves than I do at this point. If you think this is a route that would be worth going, I see no reason why we shouldn't.
Well then, Queen Ysmyr, I would happily serve as a consult and a guide to you while we head north then. If it's answers about where you should take that sword that you're looking for, I highly suggest seeing the elves in Zalora.
I'm guessing you have reason to go too.
I'd like to say hello to some old friends.
All right, then Tazalora it is. I accept your guidance.
Unless you had any other suggestions of where you think you might find your information.
None whatsoever.
All right. Shall I leave it to you to propose to the group where we are heading?
Hey everyone, we're going to Tazalora. Rhodes is going to help us find it.
Sure, sounds great.
After saying that, by the way, Ysmyr will just kind of look to Rhodes and be like, thank you. I do need the help.
And Rhodes would just kind of give her like a subtle nod and a small, very quiet mutter of, "You're welcome, Your Highness."
You're never going to let that go, are you?
Nope, never.
Well, Sir Fried, I appreciate the help.
That is guide Sir Fried to you.
My mistake? Of course you know, this means war.
Bring it.
Does
I
Yaereene
list-
hear the war comment?
Sorry?
Does Yaereene hear the war comment?
I don't see why not. She probably would have been close enough.
Okay, she'll rush in and say, no, we've already had enough wars. No more wars in the group.
Not that kind of war, Yaereene.
Oh, okay.
No. Just friendly banter.
I was kind of wondering whether or not in my time at the college, Bard College, if I had run across anything about that city, town, or anything, legends, myths about a kingdom to the north.
Give me a history check. You have done some reading because you were interested in, heroes of yore, and there were some mentions of elven fortresses and settlements in the north, spanning through the vast forests that cover the land. But for specific details about where things are, you can't be certain. The books weren't that detailed. There were no maps or anything like that. It was more just vague stories.
Okay, that's it for that bit.
I need a moment, but then I might have a little bit more info.
So, do we start getting on our way?
I guess so. Ysmyr will finish not her usual tea.
Can you give us a moment before we go on our way?
Sure.
Oh.
So what's everyone else do? Well, the party has breakfast.
Tempest keeps giving K'Tierra the side eye and giggling.
I had another dream last night.
Oh,
I dreamt of the Stormlord came, looking over the cosmos after the Gods War. He was really unhappy that things went. He was really happy that things went so well with Shiro and Dowreth imprisoned, but they were also sad, knowing that the prison can't hold them forever. So they're peering into the future, watching and learning, and they took a lot of different shapes. A kindly old man, a young woman, a pale blue dragon. And they settled on the world where the gods were actually imprisoned, the last place that they would look for the Stormlord when they're freed. And so that's what I know.
do you have any idea where that is?
No, not at all.
Well, I guess we're off to find the northern elves then, with Rhodes leading the way.
Yeah, that's something, but we've still got some work to do.
I gotta admit, it's a bit amusing, a human leading 3 elves and an orc to the northern elves.
I'm assuming Rhodes probably would have caught wind of that comment.
Oh yeah, there's nothing mean-spirited about him. K'Tierra just finds it ironical.
Oh, for sure. So Rhodes would probably throw him a wink and be like, "Well, I did tell you that my god was Corellin."
Oh, aye. There is that.
You never did really explain why you as a human worshipped an elf god.
I suppose we'll find more than Ysmyr's answers in Tezalora.
Why can't you just tell us now? Why you being so coy?
You don't like the mystery?
Nope, I'd rather know everything about you, the same way that everyone knows everything about me.
You could at least wine and dine me first if you wanted that much information.
No, Yaereene would get jealous. I'm very good at whining and dining.
So I've seen on your date at the Gilded Snowflake.
It was a good date.
It was the best date. Out of curiosity, who in the party speaks Orcish?
It's a little bit you've been teaching her so far.
I do.
Not me.
Not me.
And you've been teaching me Goblin.
Yes, I have. So everybody who isn't K'Tierra can see that there is Orcish writing on the back of K'Tierra's cape that he's wearing.
Is it one of the few phrases you've taught me?
Doubtful. I'll send you the phrase and you decide for yourself if you think you'd know it.
Probably very disparaging. Now, I do know Orc, so how hard did you try and hide it in the stole? Well, no, I haven't even seen it because I let you put it on me without looking at it. Okay.
Correct.
I would not have understood that phrase.
Okay then. So
No.
nobody knows yet.
Brian?
Yeah.
I would make the argument that
Is right back?
he gave it to me today, so I haven't had a chance to take it off. But I would say once I take it off, I see the writing.
Okay. So yeah, you don't know that there's writing on there because he put it on you. But when you take it off to rest at the end of the day or something, then you would notice the writing on it.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just have to wait.
Yeah. At some point, maybe if I'm driving the wagon, Ysmyr will be staring at K'Tierra's back, like, what does that say? And at some point, she will ask Tempus.
Tempest will just look at you and give you like a shh kind of face, and then nod and whisper, "It's a prank."
Okay. She's not going to tell K'Tierra.
So we're just walking right now, right? Or we're riding?
Yep.
We're riding though, right? Not walking?
Yeah, you can ride. That's it's part of why you guys are making better time too, is everybody's got mounts. You've got a really nice wagon being pulled by a good strong team, and you've got a ranger whose favorite environment this is, so you're making really good time.
And I'm assuming, too, the further we get north, the more familiar I would be with the territory.
Not well. I mean, it's a long way. You're going to get there in about a quarter of the time that it took you to walk. But it's going to be a long time before you become familiar with the terrain.
All good.
So around lunchtime, you get to the area around the Citadel where you guys did battle with the Chimera.
Now's your chance. Guys, if anything we left behind still here, you can grab it.
I hope you'll understand if I say I'm not too keen on going back in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. She's like, so when Tempest first died, we had to go in here to find a diamond, and we had to fight a chimera, and that's how K'Tierra got fried.
Sounds like you guys have had quite the adventures.
Yeah, even the ones that weren't as bad were troublesome, like that stupid air elemental.
Right, that was the thing too. Oh well, we can stop here for lunch. We can keep going, everyone. Up to you.
Do you think we could stop for a couple of hours?
Why so long?
Yaereene and I have important third date business to take care of.
And it needs to be done at lunch instead of when we stop for the day.
I mean,
I'm not saying no. I'm just curious.
There's just convenient woods nearby where we're reasonably certain it's safe, so we can play hide and seek and have our important third date talk. By the way, K'Tierra, you should probably read your look at the back of your cape now.
Oh, this is a prank, isn't it?
And Tempest is going to pull out the knife he stole from Rhodes, cast it at Rhodes' feet, and say, I stole your dagger! Pranked ya! Run, Yaereene! And he's going to take off for the woods.
She'll look at everybody. Wait, wasn't your favorite tea, Ysmyr? And then she'll bolt the woods.
Her- oh my god. Her idea of a prank is just giving her not her usual tea.
Yuppers!
Yeah.
You demon. You demon.
Actually, I do have one more thing to do. As we're running, can I catch Tempest?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What would I roll to try and trip him?
Grapple.
Okay, is that I don't know how to roll a grapple. I've never done that.
Give me an athletics check.
Can't use acrobatics. I've been practicing that.
Nope.
Over.
You successfully grapple Tempest.
And she will make sure to accidentally, on purpose, bonk heads on the way down. Both of them will go down. And then she will give him a kiss on the cheek and say, pranked you.
You are the best! And we're going to keep running off into the woods to play hide and seek.
What do I find when I raid my stole?
You gonna tell him, Tempest?
In Orcish letters, it says Gorald the Great's fan club.
Yes.
And I just start doing my best to rip it up and just like, I'm just like, so mad.
Pranked ya!
Ugh.
Temp much better at pranking.
I wish I had acid arrow for the stole, just to be clear.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, you guys see me starting to grumble, and I bring out a flint and tinder and I start trying to set it on fire.
Not the wand of fireballs.
No, oh my god. Yeah, no. That's a little excessive even for me.
Rhodes is just gonna lean over and cast Burning Hands and offer that up. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's a cone. No, I do not do that. I do not do that. I was looking for what I could do very quickly to help, but yeah, no, I got nothing subtle. Never mind.
Ugh. Yeah, I just keep on focusing, and as soon as I see it's caught on flame, I back off a little bit and just watch it burn, make sure nothing goes and sets off a fire anywhere else. And then when it's just a pile of ashes, I spit on it. And then you just see me go off and sulk.
Sorry, man, but all's fair in love and prank wars.
Ugh. Gorald's greatest fan. Urgh.
So Rhodes probably would just recollect his knife and dust it off a bit and just put it back where it was. Like, not that particularly bothered, just kind of like, I wonder when he got that.
You really don't have a clue?
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
made sure of that.
And so, yeah, Yaereene and Tempest are going off in the woods to play hide and go seek for a few hours because they are very mature adults.
Yeah, well, it's woods. It's fun.
Opposing survival checks?
Yep.
And Tempest walks back to the group in like 15 minutes crying, saying, I lost Yaereene.
Oh my.
What?
We were playing hide and go seek, but then she vanished completely, and now I don't know where she is, and I'm scared.
Well, she's hiding.
Tell her
Fair.
you give up?
Yeah, Tempest will bellow, Yaereene, I give up.
And a few minutes later, Yaereene will trot out of the woods. Oh, do you want to turn now?
He gives you a little glower for that one and says, nope, I think you win. It's time we have a very important talk about the future.
Are you sure you don't want to turn? I could take another turn.
Nope. Yaereene, what do you want for the future?
And you see her just freeze. I've never been asked that question before.
Well, it's important, because, you know, if we don't have the same sort of ideas for the future, and if we can't compromise, then we should probably, just go on as friends, because, the future is very important. You shouldn't waste time, and you shouldn't muck about if it just isn't going to work. So, once upon a time you told me you wanted family. Is that the case?
Yes, I want to belong to a family, and right now I kind of belong to all of you.
Yes. So, if we weren't adventuring, what does a family look like to you? Would you want to live in a house in the town of Nordgard? Would you want your parents to take you back? What do you want?
I'm happier out of the town of Nordgard. So I don't want to have to go back and live there again.
Ooh, how would you feel about, living sort of a nomadic hunter-gatherer life, sort of like an orc?
I've never tried that, but I could try that and find out if I liked it.
Well, that's pretty open-minded of you. How many kids you want?
I hadn't thought about that.
Do you think you ever want to have kids?
Maybe someday. It's always been expected of me. But I got this letter and it said that orcs and elves can't have kids. Just FYI.
Well, I mean, I was sort of hoping the fact that when I was born, they called me Tempus Half-Man. My father was a human, my biological father. So I was maybe sort of thinking that either, if we were one day to have kids, they might be half-elves because humans and elves can have kids.
That's true.
And if not, I figure we just adopt every single war orphan we can get our hands on.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, if you want, of course. Like,
I like kids, but I don't want to take kids into war right now. Like, imagine taking kids into fighting the undead. That would be horrible.
yes, no, life goals. Like, I think that anything we do for the future is going to have to wait until we kill all the undead. So,
Good, because I want to kill all the undead. Yeah.
you are so hot when you talk dirty like that. Okay, so,
What do you want?
mostly I just want to roam around and have a good time and, live as my ancestors did, freely in the woods, and try to live with honor. I might have a confession to make.
Oh,
I may have been talking to your parents about a couple of things as part of this whole, like, dating and courtship thing. So, how do you feel about your parents? Do you want a relationship with them? How would you feel about visiting them in the city sometimes?
would like a relationship with them if it's possible. And did your conversations have anything to do with the letter I got from my dad?
I don't know. What kind of letter did you get from your dad?
Well, it was surprising. I'll just put it that way.
I don't think that could have anything to do with me.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, like,
What were you writing to my dad about?
oh, stuff about the war that we used to have, and how, like, I need to make it up to him now that I've lost the war.
Gotcha.
How do you feel about, long-term relationships? Would you want to get married? Would you want to get married in a temple?
I would probably want to get married if I was going to have children with somebody. And I don't know where I would do that. Although my parents probably have some ideas on that front. You kind of hesitate as she says that.
Okay, that's all fair. Other things like, what does a relationship look like to you? Would you want a monogamous relationship? Would you want to be with one person or what?
Are you wanting to be with Rhodes?
What? No.
No.
Okay, you used a little touchy-feely earlier.
Yeah, that was to prank him. It was great.
Oh, it was very successful. You totally distracted him.
Of course I did. No, I like Rhodes. I mean, he's, a total bro, but, he's also celibate.
Really? I didn't know that.
I can't wait to hear this reasoning.
My beer went up my nose.
I wish I had popcorn.
Just like Miri. Miri was, I thought she was flirting with K'Tierra, but she couldn't because she's a cleric. Rhodes is a cleric. No relationships, completely celibate.
That's not necessarily true. From
No.
what I know of clerics in the city, that's not true for all of them.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty much. Uh-huh.
Well, I'll take that under advisement. But no, I don't think that I'd want a relationship with Rhodes or anybody else. It's just, monogamy isn't always an orc thing, and I don't know. There's There's a lot of misconceptions about elves too, you know. A lot of
Oh,
a lot of orcs tell stories about them and how, like, you know, they tend to be very predatory and moving from relationship to relationship. But you're nothing like that. You're sweet and you're pure, and I just wanted to make sure that we had all of our expectations out.
yeah, I'm not gonna try and get involved with anybody.
Fair, then neither will I. And, you know, stuff like that is sort of the basis of a long-term agreement. So now that we've kind of gotten all of these big thoughts out of the way, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
What do you want, long term and short term?
Well, you know, I'd like to defeat all of the undead, and then if we could, you know, I think we should get married in some sort of ceremony and then do whatever comes natural. You said that you've always lived at home, so I mean, traveling through all the Northlands, visiting the free peoples of the North, exploring ancient ruins, doing stuff that you couldn't do when you were trying to live under your parents. And then after we've had our fun, you know, adopt some kids and look after them or have kids of our own and just live our lives, having fun, being with one another, looking out for one another.
That sounds kind of fun, but you think maybe we could have a fourth date or maybe a few more before the whole married thing?
Well, yes. So that leads me to my very next important question, and Tempest will get down on one knee.
Um, yes? What?
Yaereene, will you go steady with me?
I will! And she just lights up.
And Tempest will pump a fist and say, "Third date success." Whew. Okay, we can stop being stressed all the time because now nothing can stop us.
Excellent. I like the sound of that.
Well, thank you. It's been very, very fun, and I want to keep doing this, but in the meantime, we should probably get back to, you know, fighting the undead, and we'll turn back to look at the rest of the party who's probably been watching this entire conversation.
Rhodes feel about being celibate.
I'm just gonna say Ysmyr's trying really hard not to be like laughing right now.
Wait, were we all close enough to hear this conversation?
We weren't trying to hide it.
Then Rhodes clearly tried his very best to hide laughter when he heard that.
Well, after a few awkward seconds, Tempest will just sort of clear his throat and say, "Rhodes, are you celibate?"
Oh yes, I am very celibate, he says with a wink.
"See? Told ya."
And if Yaereene glances at Rhodes,
He flashes Yaereene a wink. It's clear to tell that he's just straight up bullshitting. He is not celibate at all.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Congratulations, you two.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yaereene, I'm very happy for you. Tempest, I'm very annoyed.
Pranked ya. Ha ha ha.
And I pranked Ysmyr earlier.
Oh, that was the tea thing. Oh,
Yes, so sorry.
it was a very subtle prank. Well done. I did wonder why my tea tasted different.
And I think Tempest and Yaereene will you know, clap hand, like slap five over a successful prank war, and we'll continue on our journey.
Okay. So you'd continue northwest for the rest of the day. Right. So it's the forest is really heavy here and has been for a while. There's no signs of any kind of civilization or anything like that. It's just forest as far as the eye can see. You come across the odd small stream and river, nothing you can't handle with ease. And you're also starting to see tracks of what you'd consider some fairly dangerous types of game and monsters.
I'll let the rest of the group know that there's alarming things roaming the woods.
Great. Rhodes, how did you get to Nordgard?
How did I get to Nordgard, Ryan?
You walked very carefully.
Huh. Well, good on you for making the trek that way.
It was not a short journey.
I can believe that, too.
How long was it?
Good question. How long was my trip, Ryan?
It's about 5 months.
Probably even longer, because I probably would have dilly-dallied and been looking around, stopping everywhere that I found had civilization.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, it was just a really long journey.
So I'd probably be safe to say about 10 months before I got stranded in Nordgard.
I don't know about 10 months, but might have been closer to 7 or so.
Okay, I will relay that to the party.
Well, hopefully our trip back doesn't take as long as that.
I don't see it taking nearly as long. I took my time in my travels.
And clearly avoided the big things, so that's good.
Why were you traveling about so much, Rhodes?
It's like I said, I was looking for somebody. It wouldn't make sense to just beeline to one location. I canvassed everywhere I could.
Well, you're a cleric, right?
Correct?
And you're familiar with the person you're looking for, right?
Correct.
Why don't you just use your awesome cleric powers to find them?
Because I am still working on becoming that awesome of a cleric.
Well, I mean, you're at least as strong as Miri ever was, and she was able to send messages to people.
Well, you have a point, but that would also include knowing where they got off to.
No, it wouldn't. You just cast a spell and send them a message.
It's a little more complicated than that.
No, it isn't. You just cast the spell and you can talk to them. 20 words or less.
Ryan, I'm assuming I've tried this and not been able to get through.
Who were you trying to talk to?
My uncle.
Yeah, no response.
Yeah, so Rhodes will also just repeat, it's not quite that simple. No.
Tempest, it only works if they answer back.
Well, why wouldn't they if they know that you're going to find them?
I don't think they know I'm looking.
Well, they would if you told them in a message.
Yes, I suppose they would.
That's only if they get the message.
At that, Tempest's face is going to blank, and he is going to lead over to Yaereene and say,
Do you think that Rhodes' uncle is dead and he's in denial about it?
I don't know what his uncle's doing or where he's at.
Rhodes, do you think your uncle might be dead and you're in denial about it?
I'm going for the subtle approach, I see.
Correct.
So Rhodes is gonna sober just a bit and be like, well, in all honesty, that is a possibility, but until I get concrete evidence, I choose to believe that he is alive.
Well, fair enough.
Well, who knows? Maybe this is the time you get to find him.
One could only hope.
Oh, I can say I don't like what I see.
Oh, yeah.
Are we all rolling for initiative?
Everybody's rolling for initiative right now.
Ryan, I'd just like you to direct your attention to a class feature of mine called Feral Instinct. So even if I'm surprised at the beginning of combat, I can act normally on my first turn as long as I enter into a rage before doing anything else on that turn.
Okay. So you'll be entering into a rage when it's your turn.
Which is after the first Etten, but surprise rounds don't apply to me as long as I enter into a rage.
Yep, sounds good. So you guys are making your way through the woods, chatting away about various things and travels from Rhodes' homeland far to the northwest. When all of a sudden, 4 hulking creatures jump out of snowdrifts and assault you.
Ah!
Okay, so an Etten charges forward at Yaereene and takes a couple of swings, but is unsuccessful in its attacks. Ysmyr, do you have any reactions you'd like to use?
Just checking that now. No, don't have any I can use at the moment unless I have an opportunity attack. So
Okay. K'Tierra, any reactions?
Okay, so can't do a bonus, only a reaction.
Only reactions on a surprise round, yep.
Okay, well, I do have my cutting words, but that's going to be a reaction to somebody about to get walloped.
Okay. Tempest, you see an Etten come charging out of the trees and taking a couple swipes at your steady girlfriend.
Well, that was his first mistake. Fly into a rage, enter his space, and let's have a couple of reckless attacks.
oh boy.
Moo-hoo, ha-ha.
Mm-hmm. So that's 37 damage with 2 hits, one of them a crit.
One of them a crit. Yep, that's it. And for my next trick, I will end my turn.
Rhodes, any reactions?
I suppose in order to do a warding flare, it would have to be before the roll,
I
like before an attack
think
roll.
so.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So if something attacks me, I will enact warding flare before it can strike.
Okay, because that's a reaction, right?
Yes. Can I also? Is that just for me, or can I also specify it for other players in my vicinity?
I'm not sure how it works. If there's a range on it or anything.
It just says when you are attacked, so I'm assuming based on that description, it only works for myself.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then I will ready that for myself if I am attacked.
Okay.
I don't have any reactions I'm able to do.
Okay. Ysmyr, what's your armor class?
17.
Okay, so that's 2 hits.
Can I do my cutting words reaction?
Yes, you can.
And okay, so that burns a bardic inspiration. You can expend one use of bardic inspiration. Roll the die and subtract the number from the creature's roll. Right? And so I rolled it and I got a 2. I would definitely do it that way. Sorry.
Okay, so Ysmyr, you are fortunate to have K'Tierra looking out for you. So you avoid the second attack, but the first one still crits for 19 slashing damage.
Ouch.
Ow.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, K'Tierra. Glad you're back, man.
Well, I wish I could have done more than that, but at least it's something. All right, who does it go to now? The other Etten.
He's going to dash to get in there. And Yaereene, a 19 and a 25 against you.
19 hits, and then my armor class becomes 20 on all subsequent hits, which still hits.
Okay, so you take 36 damage. Combination of slashing and piercing as this Etten runs up and hammers you.
Okay.
Tempest, this guy's not your biggest fan. He's going to change his target to you. And you attacked recklessly, so he gets advantage.
Correct.
Doesn't matter when he rolls garbage. So 15 misses, right?
A 15 misses because I'm wearing my fancy armor. The second one at a 19 will hit.
Okay, so you're taking half damage because you're in a rage, so you take 7 piercing.
I have noted it. Thank you.
All right, Ysmyr, you find yourself pinned between 2 Ettins.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good. So bonus action, Misty Step.
Okay.
Sorry, just trying to pick where's.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes over there, and that kind of leaves her with a few choices. So I think just cantrip Eldritch Blast right now.
Okay. Which one are you blasting?
She's going to blast the guy closest to her twice, and she's going to try and repel him behind the tree past Rhodes.
Okay. That's a miss. 2 misses.
Dang. And I think that's my turn. Or no, I have movement still too.
Oh, yeah. K'Tierra.
Yes, could I have a 30-foot circle, please? I.e. a fireball.
Yes.
I think I can drop it where I want it, but I want to verify that I don't get Ysmyr in the process. Yeah. Okay, could you try that for the center point? All right, let's go 5 feet that way. And yeah, I think that's going to be...
That's the sweet spot.
Yeah, I catch the 3 of them. All right. And with all these days, and I've been refreshing it every day, I'm going to say I should have 7 charges.
Yes, you do.
All right. And I expend a charge for each level of the spell, correct?
For each level past 3rd, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to cast it at 4th level, so I have to use 2 charges.
Okay.
And, okay, 1 fireball. It's down to 5 charges. And that's 9d6.
I think so.
And it's a good old dexterity, isn't it? Yeah, dex 15. Ooh, I like that.
31 save for half. That's 1 save, so 15. 2 saves. Man, for slow-moving giants, these guys are really rocking the dex saves.
They're just rolling really high all around.
Yep.
Oh, that guy didn't. Okay, so he
Except
takes
for
the
that
full
one.
31.
Screw that one.
Well, you know what? It's still 60 points, 61 points of damage that they didn't have before.
Yep, that was really nice. Also,
Wait for it.
yeah, you probably can't really see it in the daylight here. But those 4 trees are all flickering and on fire.
all right.
I'll draw circles around them so it's a bit more evident.
Yeah, I knew I was taking a chance on that.
Hey, it worked out great.
And along with that, I want to do as a bonus action, dropping a bardic inspiration on Tempus.
Okay. Anything else on your turn?
Let's see. I'm probably going to do a move as well, but bardic inspiration, 2 of them. Do my spell. Where the hell do I want to move? I'm going to move back to there. And then that will be my turn.
All right, Tempest.
This is a time for peace and diplomacy. Just kidding, reckless attacks.
It's 2 hits.
Really? Even a 14?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, attacking the guy that I had hurt before, and that is, yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Rhodes, can you give me a dex save?
For sure.
Oh, thank God.
You're fine. You managed to stay out of the flaming tree.
Didn't get burned again.
Nope, not this time.
I'm going to step up by Yaereene to prevent. That will prevent her from getting flanked, right?
Yep.
Okay. I will use a word of radiance against. I think I can only do the 2 right in front of me there with word of radiance because it's a 5-foot range. So they have to make a cast on VTT. That's how it shows up here, right?
Yep.
That's not what I wanted to do. So they have to make a DC 14.
Or take 10 radiant damage. Yeah.
That is correct.
Good.
They may be light and fast on their feet, but their cons are so. Well, they got the second one got the con save. So it's no damage because it's a cantrip, right?
Healing word on Yaereene for turn.
Okay.
Kind of partially protecting Tempest anyway, so.
I thought I was protecting you.
As a action, I am going to cast Hunter's Mark on the one right below Rhodes. That one.
Okay.
And my turn is done.
One of the heads speaks in giant. I don't think any of you speak giant, do you?
No, we need somebody from the other party for that.
Nope.
I mean, giant is just basically yelling in common, right? Like they're just talking real loud?
No. And the other head speaks in Orcish and says, "Me no like fire either. Got that guy."
Does he take any more damage from going through the fire?
He does. I mean, he didn't just walk through the tree. He kind of skirted around it a bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, he still takes 4 more points of fire damage before unleashing on K'Tierra.
Goodbye, him.
Oh boy. Okay.
I think that's 2 hits for 30 damage.
Okay, so it's a 24 or an 18 or 22 or
That's
25.
a 24 or a 22 are your options there.
22. Okay, I'm going to burn another bardic inspiration. So I've only got 1 left. And now I do my roll D8 to take off the Morning Star. Where's the D8? There it is. I hit roll. I'll hit it roll again. So yeah, he whiffs on the 19, but I take 11.
So 15 misses your armor class?
Oh, hang on. I thought my armor class was higher than that.
Your leather armor, right? That was very high.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste the bardic inspiration then, because even with an 8, he still would have hit me.
Okay. So you take 30 damage and give yourself back that bardic inspiration.
Yeah. Ouch.
Me, I no like fire, but I no like healer either.
Oh my god, it's a tactical genius, Etten.
And these are at advantage against Rhodes.
Yeah, I can't do diddly against that.
I believe looking at those, they both hit.
Yep. So that's 24, 33 damage.
Well, what's your armor class again? 17?
19.
19. Okay, now I'm burning the D8.
Okay.
And I'm doing it against the 22 because I've got a good chance.
A 22 turns into a 16 and misses. So Rhodes, you take 24 from the crit.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry.
That is a-okay. That still puts me in a better position than I was.
This guy grumbles. One of his heads grumbles. And he just whacks Rhodes. Dear God.
She really does.
Oh
There's
boy.
nothing against Rhodes in a fight. Really, there always is.
This is fine. Consider me your party punching bag, attending for service and duties.
That's another 33 damage.
I fall down.
Yep.
Tempest, I'm not sure how that happened. Rolling at advantage. But a 12 and a 13 miss.
It's because I'm so angry.
Your anger makes him confused.
It's just a prank, bro.
All right, Ysmyr.
I think what Ysmyr's going to do is get a little closer. For a bonus action, she's going to use the Moonblade to blind everyone within 30 feet of her. With a shout to Tempest to shut his eyes.
If it's a dex save, I'll be okay.
It's a con save, actually.
I'll be even better.
Near the top there. But yeah, so she will use the bonus action to cause the Moonblade to flash brightly. Each creature that can see within 30 feet must succeed a DC 15 con saving throw or become blinded for 1 minute. They can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of their turns, ending the effect if it's a success. And then for her attack, I guess I'll wait until they're done. So it looks like both of them failed, so they're blinded for the next minute unless they make their saves on their turns.
Okay.
In which case, Ysmyr will shoot a couple Eldritch Blasts, maybe one at each.
Okay.
If they're blinded, does that mean advantage?
Let me check.
This is the first time it's actually worked, so that's kind of nice.
A blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. But they roll at advantage against blinding. I don't know.
That's an
Well, your thing rolled
it's
20.
different, but all the rolls are bad, so yeah, they're blind.
Excellent. So one shot at each with advantage on each.
Okay. Both hit.
All right. So near death one gets the 11, or I was going by top to bottom anyway. So
Yep, that's how I did it.
okay, cool. And that is Ysmyr's turn.
Okay, K'Tierra.
Jeez. Yeah. I can use, as a bonus action, throwing Healing Word on Rhodes, just so that they can't auto-kill him before he can do anything. So that is Healing Word. And I'm actually going to shoot it at second level. So that's 10 hit points for you, Rhodes.
Thank you kindly.
The one that's came at me is the one that I hit the hardest, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to cast a level 3 Dissonant Whispers on that Etten.
Okay.
And that is a DC 15 Wisdom.
And what does it do to it if it's successful?
And it's got to run away from me as far as its speed allows from me. Will not move into obviously dangerous ground. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and does not need to move away.
It doesn't look like it's like a frightened effect or anything that makes it run away. So it's not going to get advantage on the save. So it fails and takes 20 psychic damage.
Yep. So it's at least 51.
And it moves 40 feet away with its reaction.
Yep. Does that allow Yaereene to do an opportunity attack?
Oh, no, it says to make the opportunity attack, use your reaction to make one melee attack against a provoking creature. So you can't use a ranged weapon.
Oh, well.
Okay. So now he moves 40.
But you just allowed me to shoot with my bow without disadvantage, K'Tierra. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm trying to do my best.
Anything else on your turn, K'Tierra?
I'm just waiting to use my last Bardic Inspiration for a reaction because it's nasty.
Okay. Tempest, what are you up to?
I'm gonna try and knock the head off of that one that's near death. It's blind, so I don't have to attack recklessly. For the advantage, I mean.
That's a hit, and it goes down.
Knocking it unconscious. Okay, Rhodes is
You
conscious.
just said you were knocking its head off.
Yeah, well, I changed my mind halfway through. It's knocking it unconscious.
It's only one head. It has two.
Yeah. And besides, knocking it unconscious so, like, we can talk to him after. I'm going to take a step this way, which I think won't take me out of the range of the other one. Let's attack the other blind one with my second attack.
Ooh. Oh,
And that's my turn.
you hit it though,
Okay.
didn't you?
I would assume that I hit the
Okay.
second.
All right, Rhodes, you're laying on the ground. K'Tierra has healed you. What are you going to do?
So I assume getting up is both an action and leaves me vulnerable to attack of opportunity, if I remember correctly, right?
Nope. Getting up just takes half your movement.
Oh, okay. So then I will stand, and as soon as I stand, I will cast a 4th level mass healing word, and I believe everybody falls within that 60-foot radius.
Yep.
Cool. I believe, is that 8 that everybody gets?
That's what it looks like.
All right, so everybody regain 8 hit points. I'm assuming that includes myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try the word of radiance again.
Okay.
And that is a DC 14 for all 3 that are right around me.
Ooh.
All right, you got one of them.
I will take it.
That's your turn?
Yes, I believe that is my turn. I will hold my ground because I don't think I can disengage safely.
Nope, that would take an action.
I'm shooting the badly injured one, Ryan.
Okay.
He's still up. I will shoot him again.
Okay. And he goes down.
Oh, but he only takes 6 damage, Ryan, because the Colossus Slayer doesn't apply for that time.
And he's still up with 1 hit point.
Great. I shoot him again. The Colossus Slayer on this one does not happen either. So
Doesn't matter. He goes down.
excellent. And I'm done. Actually, I am going to. I don't want to stand right beside K'Tierra. I'm going to back up just a wee bit so that
Okay.
if they're going to choose which one of us they want to attack.
Sounds good. Rhodes.
Yes.
He misses you.
Yay!
Yay, my AC comes in good for something.
Remember that one's blinded too, right?
Yep,
Yes, that
he's
is
swinging wildly. So he's attacking Tempest. I was going to say if he attacked Rhodes, he'd be attacking at just a straight roll, no advantage or disadvantage because he's blind, but also has advantage with a flanking opponent. But he's attacking Tempest, so no flanking or anything. It's just disadvantage attacks.
Oh, you saw him kill his friend.
No, he's blind. He didn't see him do that.
Oh, man.
Level 1s, he just kills himself, right?
I mean, no, he's just swinging real bad. But nothing bad happens to him from it. Okay, Ysmyr.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to do the blindness save. 1 second. Okay, he's still blind.
So, screw it. I'll Hexblade curse this guy, or I'm gonna Hexblade curse the uninjured one.
Okay.
And then with the injured one, she's gonna run up and booming blade him.
27's a hit.
Yeah, that should have been advantage. So I'm just gonna roll to make sure I didn't get any 20s.
Okay.
I did not. So 27.
And 7 damage.
Plus the first bit of thunder damage, so plus 3 from the booming blade.
Oh, does that add damage on the attack now because you're high level?
Yeah.
Nice.
It adds an extra 1d8 on a hit, and if he moves, he takes 2d8 thunder damage.
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
And that's my turn.
K'Tierra.
All right. I'm going to do a second Dissonant Whispers at 3rd level. And Wisdom save 15, as I said. Yeah, I think I hit it.
Nice roll.
And it was the uninjured one that I'm going after.
Yeah. And he's going to run 40 feet. So, Rhodes and Ysmyr, if you want to take attacks of opportunity at him as he runs by, you can.
Bet I
Close
do.
enough.
Absolutely. And Warcaster, I'm going to Eldritch Blast.
Would he have been close enough for me to take a swipe at him as well?
I think he had been standing right behind Rhodes, so yeah, you should too. Yeah.
Don't forget you've got your bardic inspiration.
Thank you for the reminder. I don't need that reminder.
No, you don't. Oh yeah.
Both of those hit.
Now I never declared that I had a weapon out, did I?
Well, you probably would have. Like, I usually assume people have weapons out in combat.
That is fair. I just remembered I never declared it. So then I would like to hit with my weapon. I will use my mace.
That's a
I do not
miss.
think I hit.
I'm assuming my Eldritch blasts hit, or at least one of them does.
Both of them did. So 14 damage.
Yep.
Well, that was a nasty turn, K'Tierra.
You're welcome.
Like, healing him was a problem.
Anything else on your turn?
I'm going to move a little bit, and okay, I'm going to end up there, and that would be the end of my turn.
All right, Tempus.
Tempest's eyes are going to narrow, and he is going to declare, "Sorry, Yaereene, but I want to ask this one questions. Relationship conflict, ho!" And I'm going to attack recklessly at the one that's running away. Of course, taking attacks of opportunity for leaving that other guy's threatened zone.
Yeah, but it misses you.
Knocking the other one out, I think, with 28 damage.
That'll do it.
And then I'll just walk back to flank this other one, and yeah, here we go.
Oh, you killed that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. I get health back.
He didn't kill it. He knocked it unconscious.
Oh, never mind.
All right, Rhodes.
All right, I'm going to use my action to take a swing at this thing in front of me, and hope to God it works this time.
You do have advantage. We've got him flanked.
Oh, so I
Yeah, roll it again.
advantage.
You got it.
That's a hit.
Oh, yay! So that'll be for 7 damage. And then
Okay.
as my action, I will cast a second mass healing word for everyone around us, because K'Tierra and I are still in rough shape. Cool. That is for 4 points.
Yeah, still 4 more than we had.
True. And that is my turn.
So as a bonus action, I'll move my healing word from the unconscious one to the one that's still standing. I am not as thoughtful as Tempest is. I'm just shooting him.
Boom.
Yes,
And
you are.
Since he has my hunter's mark on him.
This is with the advantage because he failed his blindness save, right?
Oh, take the first one.
Yeah. So 18 damage.
Yes. Is he still standing?
He is.
I will make him not. Whoops, wrong thing came through.
Yep.
Hunter's mark damage if I hit him.
That's a hit, and he goes down.
Okay, excellent.
Oh, that was satisfying actually doing something in a battle.
You were awesome.
I was very lucky, and I'm so glad.
Okay, Ysmyr, now hear me out. A wagon drawn by Ettins.
I don't think they're going to agree to that, Tempest.
They don't have a choice. They're my thralls now. I have defeated them in battle.
Do they actually subscribe to that belief system?
If you whack 'em hard enough, yeah.
How do you know that?
Well, 'cause the Ettins, they're basically just giant orcs twisted by magic. I mean, I'm gonna have to come up with 4 thrall names, one for each head, but we can do it if we put our heads together.
I saw what you did there. I like it. But
I don't think that's a good idea, Tempest.
Well, are you sure?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, fine, and I'll start whacking their heads off.
I thought you wanted to talk to them.
Only need one to question. This one is now dead for real, and then walk over to the second one and sit on his chest and just put my sword right on his neck and just start trying to josh him awake, slapping his faces and such like.
Yeah, that kind of thing doesn't work.
But what if I try whacking him harder?
You kill him.
Curses. Well, would somebody please... Okay, fine, I'll just try a medicine check to see if I can't wake him up and, keep him stable, but, not particularly healthy.
No. You wrap some bandages around him, but they're not going to have any effect. I mean, he's already stable anyway, so it doesn't hurt him.
He is probably way too heavy for me to drag with us, isn't he?
I bet.
Does anybody feel like they could, spend a healing spell so we could ask him some questions, or...
What do you want to ask him about?
Have you seen any undead? Are there any elves or settlements in the area? Do you know of anything cool nearby? Have you heard of the Queen in the North, and are you interested in pledging service?
Well, the first two, Yaereene could just do her spelly thing for the undead and the elves. Anything cool in the area? That's possible. What languages did this one speak?
Well, Ettins are basically just, Orcish giants with 2 heads, so they'll probably speak Orcish and they'll probably speak giant.
Yeah, to answer your question, the Yaereene weighs about 5,200 pounds.
Well, and nobody else seems to be jumping up to heal him so we can ask questions, so,
I
Go ahead.
can step forward and do just a quick healing word.
only if you want to.
Sure, never hurts to ask the question. Okay, he can be healed for 5 points.
Sword on his neck, sitting on his chest, and Tempest is going to look down on the heads and say, "Hello, I'm Tempest Twiceborn. If you move, I'll kill ya."
They blink groggily and look up at you and assess the situation and do what comes naturally to an Yaereene. He grapples you.
Of course.
Tempest, shoot him.
Paco and Waco, stand down or you're going to suffer for it.
Are you contesting his grapple?
Yeah, fine.
Ah!
You get advantage on that, even when you're not raged?
So Totem of the Bear, advantage made to push, pull, lift, or break objects.
That's not grappling.
Okay, then I do not have advantage.
He grapples you.
Well, I did say I was ready to stab him in the neck, so I'm like, goodbye, Paco and Waco, and I'll try and stab him if I may.
We'll say that was a surprise round and go into initiative.
All right, fine.
For everyone?
Into initiative.
Well, I don't intend to let him just grapple.
Yep.
You want to start the encounter tracker, Ryan?
Yeah, I've got to put everyone in initiative here.
Not a problem.
All right. So on his surprise round, he grapples Tempest, and we go back to the top of the order as Tempest's turn. Oh, Rhodes, can I get your initiative roll?
I rolled, but I don't think my token was selected yet. It is the 10 there, but I could roll again.
Okay, I'll give you a 10.
Okay, thank you.
And Tempest does 15 damage and kills it.
Knocking him out. No, just kidding. He's dead. He's dead. Just kidding.
No Ettins pull the cart.
Thank you for indulging me. Sorry for the trouble.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't get hurt.
I mean, it was worth a try.
You're just going to get a big eye roll.
Nah, good battle, everyone.